Welcome to a Q&A thing. It's not Shardcast. Hi, how's it going? We just got 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, so that obviously means time to do a Q&A on Twitch. But we're gonna post it on YouTube. I don't like YouTube streaming. I hate it.
YouTube streaming is
do
not good.
I do not like it. I'm sorry. Joining me today is way too many people. And the first of which is Alyx. What's up?
Hi, I'm Feather Writer.
Yeah, and you do great editing. And
I did see someone in the chat liked my editing. It was fun to edit Shardcast again.
The end clip on the episode, oh my god. So I think the stuffed corgis really made that picture work really effectively. I don't know if you've seen that. This is really funny. Also joining us is Ian.
Hi, I'm Weiry Writer, and I don't do editing. I just show up and talk.
Yep. And this is why we pay editors. Also joining us is Evgeni.
I also show up and talk, except probably more and louder, and sometimes people try to speak over me and I just ignore them.
And sometimes I have to turn down your volume and then I'm like, you're talking too soft, and then you're like, I can talk louder. It's like, oh great, thanks.
Loud noises.
Nope. And we also have Grace. What's up?
Hello, I'm Gator Girl.
And we got Shannon.
Hi everybody, I'm Gray, not to be confused with Grace.
Yes, that's true. And also, person forcibly stolen from his previous engagement to come over here is Ben.
I can't believe you made me leave my friends behind. Nah, we were done anyway. It's Ben, also known as Overlord Jebus.
Oh my god, you're so loud.
Were you guys doing a
am I really loud?
Or?
Yeah, I fixed it.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, this isn't going to be very edited. So, it's going to be a relaxed stream. And by relaxed, we thought relaxing would be 7 people talking over each other. So, this is a trial. This is a trial for how many people can we fit. So,
it's a mistake is what people.
It is. Yeah. Look, I'm gonna make an 8-person frame. You think I made all this effort for a 7-person frame and I'm not preparing an 8-person one? Obviously. Yes.
We should talk spoiler policy.
Yes, we should. Thank you.
So everyone knows what's safe and what's off limits.
Yep. So we're not gonna talk about Rhythm of War stuff at all. Okay? We're not gonna talk about any of the samples. There'll be new sample chapters Tuesday, so go check out that. And we have lots of you can talk about it on our forums and Discord. We will have some show where we talk about Rhythm of War sample chapters. And you'll probably see next week, probably. Yeah.
The confidence.
I know. Look, we have a time set. It's like gonna be 9 p.m. US, and Paleo's gonna get up at like 6 a.m. EU time. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But other Cosmere stuff.
It's not gonna be grumpy at all.
Probably. We'll talk about stuff. I don't anticipate. There didn't seem to be like super spoilery questions. But. Anyway.
So please try to keep spoilers out of the chat as well. I don't assume people are going to be book discussion in the chat, but just for people.
The only one who's going to be spoiled is Lucy, Ben's wife, who was chatting with us a little bit before.
Lucy's here, by the way. If you want to just lean in, like here.
Hi.
Lucy's here. Hello.
I'm so excited for her to read Stormlight and see what she thinks, because
I'm very excited for her to finish.
Because I assume if she hates Way of Kings, she will not continue.
We'll see. She hated Way of 2, but she still finished it, so...
It's like, I hated Way of Kings. Time to read the next seven books in this.
Yeah, but Way of Kings is longer than all of Era 2.
Yes, Era Kings is longer than the whole of Era 2 alone,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sometimes Stormlight just be like that, you know?
Look, Wayne's not in Stormlight, so it'll probably be fine.
We'll be okay. He's not in Stormlight yet.
So...
Yikes. That's a terrifying world up.
We should probably start with the very simple question of what is your favorite character in the Cosmere? We got that a bunch from a bunch of people.
Ooh.
I can give you a quick and easy answer, but I'll let Alyx go first.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This is going great. This is going great.
Most people who have talked to me are aware of my favorite characters. Top of the list, definitely Renarin Colin since the start, since the beginning.
Yep.
He's my boy. I love him. I would die for him. Top of the trash heap, Mraze, because I'm just like that. And then honorable mention to Steris because she's wonderful and she deserves the world.
How high is Odium on the trash list?
Odium does not place because I decided I didn't want to do that anymore.
You didn't want a hot old man.
Stop.
You didn't want to do that?
I love what the chat
terrible.
says. How do you pronounce Mraze? Husband.
Exactly.
That's pretty good.
That's fantastic.
That understands me.
Ian, what about you?
Navani. She is the best character in the Cosmere. I love her so much.
Evgeni.
It's a toss up between Yasna and Chris.
Right. I like how for a second I forgot, but then it's like, oh right, yeah, I really should have remembered.
Science.
Well, duh. I'm all about the hot science ladies.
Look, I think that's
genocide.
fair.
That's great taste, man.
The genocide, great taste. Great taste.
Yeah.
Grace, what about you?
It depends on the day. I have a hard time sticking with favorites, but I've been in an Adolin mood recently, so I'll go with Adolin.
Ooh, yeah.
Nice.
Shannon.
Yeah, it's kind of a toss-up between Adolin and Dalinar. It switches day to day, book to book. After Oathbringer, it was like it's been Dalinar for the last 3 years. So
It's pretty good. I figure it's good.
So far, we're very colon heavy.
Very colon
It's almost like they're
Not
main
even
characters or
Stormlight.
something.
The colons are great.
Statistically speaking, if you grab main characters and you put them on a board and you throw darts, you'll probably get hit colons. Like more than most.
It doesn't help that characters that didn't start off as colons are like becoming colons as well. So like they're just
Our colon rate is increasing.
Ben, what about you? Favorite characters?
I actually feel I'm like Dalinar is definitely real high for me, but I've been rereading Way of Kings as well at the same time that Lucy's been reading it.
Oh,
and
excellent.
so I'm like actually Kaladin is actually probably definitely one of my favorites. Like I know he's the mainstream choice, but Kaladin is pretty great.
Kaladin's pretty great.
He's an
Ben, you're so
honorary
basic.
colon.
No. My favorite Pokemon's Charmander, you know.
My favorite characters, Elend is my Mistborn Era 1 fave. Like ever since, coming reading books at parties, it's like me reading my phone at parties, just like reading articles on the internet. That's what I do. But otherwise probably Adolin. Adolin just makes me happy. Like it's just fun. All the time. But I like most characters. I'm not really a ultra character person, so I'm not like I don't get like super attached to characters. I'm like, oh my god, I love them.
Yeah, it's kind of like my favorite book is the one I'm reading right now.
Yeah,
my favorite character is the one I'm reading right now.
Yeah, it's just like Brandon's cop out. It's like, well, my favorite character is the one I'm writing now, but it's like it's true.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite character is the one whose wiki article I worked on the most recently.
That's true. You do, or do you hate them more because you've been working on them so much?
What happens is I'm like, oh, I want to work on them, and I start reading. I'm like, oh, I actually really like this character. It's inspiring me to write about them on the wiki.
Yeah,
forms a deep connection.
Deep connection.
No romantics allowed on my question and answer screen.
Get romantics out of here. If I hear a single...
It's fine.
Only Realmatics allowed when I'm here.
We'll just start a second stream, which is called 17 Shard Realmatics, and then we'll keep that in there.
Yep.
I'll give you that.
Oh gosh.
For those of you who don't know, we split our Rhythm of War spoiler chapters to now have a romantics thing. That's the joke there.
The romantics people are quarantined because we don't want to hang out with them anymore.
Correction, you don't want to hang out with them, Alex.
It was the royal we.
Oh,
It was the real we.
What if we move?
Alex's opinions.
What if we move the video frames? And we can have like Alyx, Shannon, and Grace on the top row, and they can talk about characters and stuff. And then the rest of us can be on the bottom row.
Well,
and we
see,
can talk about
Argent,
romantic.
I'm glad you asked because I obviously need to be top left because that's what I do. Then I wanted to have a mix of male and female on each row and stuff, and then kind of going in order of like, who started at Shardcast earliest and stuff. So I don't know. So this is our order. So this is why Shannon's usually more at the end, just to give slight deference to the people who are here a little earlier.
Has that been the strategy the entire time?
Yeah, I usually go, because usually it's Ian next, right? Because he's been on almost everything. But I didn't want to have two guys and a girl, so I put Alyx there. So anyway, there is a method to my insane ordering, but like it's totally insane.
It's a little bit like having a favorite like stove burner that you always have to be top left stove burner.
Yeah, I don't use my top left stove burner much though. I use the bottom left and bottom right. Bottom left is my preferred stove burner.
It's like your MySpace top friends. It's like what order they're in. It's just all the drama.
It's like when I ordered the shards in the Cosmere nav box on the Coppermind, and some people were like, why is it in this weird order? We should really alphabetize them. I was like, no, it makes sense to me.
It really should be alphabetical.
I think you're right.
All I know is that I just have to take out Ian and Argent, and then I can be next to Eric on most of the episodes and as his second in command.
Watch out! That was an intentional.
Good luck, baby girl.
Jarosaurus in chat asks, "Guess Chaos has OCD now?" No, I just have very particular tastes about very particular things. Okay, and I'm like, I want things to go in a specific way,
and he follows those things obsessively and compulsively.
That's just being type A. Come on, I
don't know if I'm even type A. Let's get back to questions and less about mocking me. Oh, my mom's calling. Let's deny calling my mom because I'm on a stream. So,
sorry, Eric.
She can
maybe she's gonna show up in chat.
Yeah, maybe. I'll text
phone.
her. I'll text her. We are doing a stream. We are doing a stream.
Tell her to donate bits and have a message. Oh, we should totally have the thing where people donate bits and then read messages, and then they can be dumb messages and they can be read in dumb robotic voices.
I think we need like some Twitch stuff because I don't think we're like good enough at streaming because we stream twice.
We'll figure it out.
Just practice.
Why are you talking as you type the text so that the stream knows what I'm typing? Come on.
We don't have that Sherlock putting the text over people's heads as they type on their phone, it's kind of high-end cinematics.
So what about least favorite Cosmere characters? That was another question that was asked.
Do you want to do one order again?
Low-hanging fruit is Moash.
Well, see, I really like Moash. I really like Moash a lot.
I understand Moash, but I don't like him.
Yeah, here's the thing about like talking about least favorite characters. It's like, is this the least favorite like person? Like, I wouldn't want to be around this person, or is this like a character that didn't work for me in the story?
Well, see, the question. I think just said least favorite character, so I don't really have extra context for you about that.
I would say follow your heart. I'd say follow your heart.
I know who's number one. Zane.
Okay, you got
you got an easy one.
I think I ordered my least favorite characters. I think Zane, Wayne, Lopen. I think those are my three most least favorite.
Lopen is so low for you.
I just don't find him as funny as Brandon clearly does.
I find him as funny as Brandon.
Well, look, and that means he works. That's great.
I think I can go next.
There was an opportunity there for you to go Zane, Wayne, Lopain.
Yeah, but that's not a character though.
I've got one.
Okay.
My least favorite, and this is to read, so they're not the least favorite character. Like hanging out with them were pretty cool, but the only character that I've ever like skipped over reading stuff was Wayne, and it's because during the Wayne chapters, I skip over like the first half of the chapter where he's just doing random crap, and because I just don't enjoy reading it.
Yeah,
it's just random crap. Yeah, but he's pretty much the only character I would say I dislike reading is those bits. Every other character, I'm like, we're pretty good.
Yeah, we were talking about this question a little bit before stream started, and Wayne definitely came up. And
Yes.
I will throw my
all the guys got cut out of the conversation, and all the women just started like ranting about what a bad person he is.
I will also vote Wayne just because like it's not his humor that gets to me, it's just the way he acts toward women, especially like Steris and Renette. I can't, especially the fact that like he's supposed to be a likable character. Like I don't think you're supposed to hate Wayne, and yet
this
gets
is a guy we all know in real life, and it's like just he thinks he's charming. Obviously Wayne thinks he is so charming, but he's not.
But Shannon, you just need to be persistent to get women. That's right. It's just persistence. And it's like, no, that is not good advice. Please,
this is an angry laugh.
I know. Look, I have been at a bar with my female friend. I go to the bathroom and then like just a guy's just hitting on her just terribly and just trying to get him away. Like it's just terrible. Cool. Grace, what about you?
I'll go a bit of an unpopular one, but I'll go Vasher.
Oh, really?
I don't think I have ever read a single like mysterious old mentor figure that I've actually liked.
Okay, that's all right.
That archetype, and Vasher is very much the mysterious old mentor, like grumpy old man who that character type is just not one that I have ever enjoyed reading.
Dalish does Dalish have a?
He's right here.
He's having a great time.
Kitty, hey baby. Hey,
I was gonna say,
baby.
Grace, what about?
I'll put her in the middle of the screen.
Great.
I was like, Grace, what about the old mentor from Skyward? What's his name?
I do not like him.
Cobb. I don't like Cobb.
Wow.
No, Grace really didn't like Cobb. I saw her reactions on that.
Wow.
I remember this now.
Yeah.
Yes.
She does not like Cobb.
Interesting.
Because didn't you find him just like insufferable? That like he's just getting everyone killed and being an idiot.
Well, he's just like such an ass to like the people under him, and Spencer's like, oh, that's just how he is. You have to learn how to deal with him. It's like he's the boss of this entire organization. He shouldn't just like casually be like that to the people under him.
Mm-hmm. I feel like somebody needs to talk about Matt not liking Bridge 4 and Talm.
Oh yeah.
Matt is not here to share it.
Yeah, Matt's
Matt,
not here.
on your behalf.
Matt doesn't like sports underdog stories, so he doesn't really like Bridge 4. Like it's like and he doesn't find Talm interesting.
I have another unpopular choice.
All right.
Who is Spook?
Oh, yeah.
I get that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like the resolution to his plot arc is bad. Like I hate that he became Mistborn. Like
spoilers.
Spoilers for everything
I know.
except Rhythm of War.
I know.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
Like he whines for 3 books about how being a Tin Eye is useless, and he wishes he was a Mistborn, and so he gets rewarded by becoming a Mistborn.
And then he gets all the ladies. All the ladies.
Yeah.
Just like, bye, Lucy. Bye.
Bye.
What about favorite Cosmere moments?
We haven't gone yet. All.
Oh, there's too many of us. I can't pay attention.
Has Evgeni gone yet?
No,
yeah.
he has not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I assume people assume that I have gone because my voice just kind of permeates the cosmos all the
It's
time.
the background Argent radiation, basically, of Argent just blabbing. So I usually just assume that you've talked, and it's like, man,
It's just
There's been a lot of
droning on
pausing
and
where
on.
Argent hasn't talked. I don't know. It seems a little weird. He must have gone already. Really.
And then I'll go on after Evgeni.
Yes. Sorry. This will be great. This is
Too
going
many of
great.
us.
I will join you all on the Wayne hate train.
It rhymes.
Because I just don't.
Zane's
I don't
the
find him
conductor
that
of the Wayne
interesting.
Hate Train.
I will also, however, vote for Moash for different reasons, and they are kind of the predictable reasons. In that, I really hate the things he represents and the way he represents, like the giving up of responsibility and the denial of just accountability and just saying, no, not my fault, wasn't me, they made me do it, I don't care. And that is
Yeah,
supremely
absolutely.
upsetting to me.
Yes.
Way more so than him murdering Elokar.
Yeah, you can come back from murder. Dalinar murdered so many people, you know? It's like, it's the
He
reason.
murdered the person closest to him.
Yes, he
and
did.
he's redeemed.
But can you come back from kicking a baby?
You can come back from gently tipping over a baby with your foot.
But that's not what he did. He picked up that baby and he just went. Oh, that was my death.
Jail for Moash. Jail for Moash 1,000 years.
Wouldn't that be the funniest thing, Ben? I like, no, you have to be here at this time. I made the 7-person overlay, and then you just do something, and then you break the desk that you're at, and we have to go. Oh, no. It'd be hilarious.
Oh, no.
Shannon, what about you?
My least favorite is Shallan.
Oh.
And it's sort of like, I don't hate her for every possible reason you can hate Shallan. In fact, I find I get defensive of her in some of the conversation about disliking her, because my issues with her are very specific to a personality when she's fine, when she's not being traumatized and fine. I actually dislike her as a person when she's healthier. So if someone thinks she's annoying for having trauma, I'm like, no, let's lay off her a little bit here. That's not fair. But I really dislike who she is, just as a person. I find her really mean. I find she does that thing that Kaladin. I think Kaladin gets it nail on the head in Words of Radiance when he's like, it's not that she is mean to Dark Eyes on purpose, it's that she doesn't care. It's that she doesn't see them as people. And it's like, it's kind of this thing that happens is like, she doesn't really see the people below her in caste as real people with feelings. So she'll make jokes at their expense, and she doesn't really care if they get her joke. She's just like, oh, they're just too stupid to get it, and stuff like that.
For me, it's that the boot scene is.
I hate the boot scene so much.
I hate the boot. It's supposed to be funny, and I find it so.
I hate
like awkward to watch and cringe. I'm like, no, don't.
I skipped the boot scene on my last reread, and it made the book so much better for me.
There's a scene in Kholinar where she is like taking pot shots at Kaladin, and we're in Kaladin's point of view, and he's like, why are you like this? Why do you treat me like this? You're just
it's like she thinks she's being funny, and she's like, she'll just say these really cruel, awful things, and and it's sort of like she thinks she's being teasing and cute. She's not being teasing and cute. She didn't she doesn't care about the reaction she gets. She kind of like filters it in and pretends she's getting the reaction that she wants. She's not getting the pot. Just like, ugh. I can't stand it. It's kind of like for
maybe that's why I like her.
Actually, no, it's kind of like there's also parts that I don't like her for the same reason that you don't like Moash, because like beginning of Oathbringer, like when Yasna comes back and she keeps pushing back.
Oh, that was
like,
infuriating. Oh
and
my
she's
god.
She's like, I don't have to take responsibility. I've done all these cool radiant things. I'm an adult. I don't have to take notes. I don't have, it just drives me crazy, like this abdication of responsibility.
Yeah.
Shallan, if you want to be an adult, you have to act like an adult. Ugh.
That was really annoying in part 2 of Oathbringer. I was like, oh my god.
I can
pattern
probably
tells me
find
that,
something.
too.
Every scene I could probably find like after I have nothing to complain about it in Way of Kings. And nothing to complain about in Words of Radiance until she meets Kaladin, which is the boot scene. And then after that, I can find probably something in every scene where I'm just like, ugh, why are you like this? Why do you have to, why is this cute to you? She's not funny. She's not funny.
Let's go on to another question that is favorite Cosmere moments, not characters, moments.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, I got this one in the chamber, so I'll just go.
All right.
Okay.
For me, it's I absolutely love the duel in Words of Radiance.
Yeah, that's really great. That's so good.
I don't think I've ever had a book where I'm just glued, because it's like 3 or 4 chapters, and it's just every second of it, I was on the edge of my seat. It's so good. Yeah.
Roses
I
are
read a
red.
good tech about that scene. It's that good.
Roses are red. Violets are blue. Honor's dead. I'll see what I can do.
That was not
had that
that.
rep. That's
No, it's not a
wonderful.
Katek. No.
Ooh, there's a lot of good points in Oathbringer that I could pick. My favorite scene is actually probably Rock's POV chapter in Oathbringer, where he talks to Renarin. Because it was just so soft, and it was a lot of having been in the fandom for a long time, back when Renarin was sort of a nobody and we didn't have any scenes about him. It was just so heartwarming to finally get to hear him talk about, his struggles and how he feels and the way that he wants to be perceived and things like that. And like Rock was so understanding, and then he goes and talks to Relaine, and it was just lovely.
I'm
Wonderful
surprised your
and
favorite
lovely.
scene wasn't Renarin POV.
That's also up there. I did really love having Renarin POV finally, but
You
the
didn't like
Rock scene
Renarin
was
being
just
gagged.
heartwarming. Stop. Least favorite Cosmere scene. Least.
She's gonna kill you.
I mean, he wasn't actually gagged.
On
He's gonna
screen.
word Brandon on
On
that.
screen.
Grace, what
Gotta-
about you?
I'll go with Maya when we first hear her name and when Adolin
Maya.
summons her in 7 Heartbeats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's very sweet.
I'm gonna give a cop-out answer and just list like 17 scenes.
Okay, cool.
Great. We're not
Um,
taking forever.
The
with this Q&A.
17th scene.
So in, I think, Hero of Ages, there is or one of the Erewhon books, there's a brief moment when Vin is flying around and she bursts through the cloud cover and like for the first time sees the stars. Like she breaks the what is going to become known as the Ascendant Fields. I think that is just extremely cinematic and gorgeous. I love that. In Warbreaker, I am a massive nerd for that scene where after all this time of Vasher characterization where he's grumpy and tight-lipped and doesn't talk about anything, he just unleashes all of the awakening lore upon Vivenna.
Let me info dump now. And you're like, oh, okay.
I love that so
Nerd.
much. I love it so much. End of Words of Radiance. Kaladin, stretch forth thy hand.
Stretch forth thy hand. Oh, so good.
This is instant goosebumps every time I read this scene. Every time I think about this scene.
I remember reading
we'll
that
stop
at
at
like
3.
2 a.m. and actually like yelling F yeah, and I think it was like too loud, like that late at night when I got to that part.
I when I was reading the climax and the ending of Words of Radiance, I remember as I was reading a physical book at the time, and I was reading, and at some point in the climax of the book, I realized I had gone from like a foot distance between my nose and the book to like 3 inches.
Yeah.
And I hadn't realized that was happening.
Shannon, what about you?
I was also scribbling some things down. I think I'll keep it narrowed down to 3. One of the scenes that first jumped to mind was the scene after the duel when Adolin tries to give Kaladin the shards, and it was a really big character moment for me, because this is the sort of moment where Kaladin and Adolin sort of like see each other for the first time. It's like without their assumptions of what's going on. Adolin's like, yeah, you're a good guy, I can trust you, and I did this for you. And Kaladin's like, oh my gosh, Adolin believed me and he went to jail for me, and he's like, this is the first time a Light Ice has ever done this. And it was just it was such a good character moment.
I know,
it was this is the moment for Kaladin and Aelin's relationship and just their friendship, and like this is when the trust really solidifies, and like this is the start of their friendship, and it was just such a beautiful moment. Another one is like, this is Dalinar and Hoyd's conversation about tyranny.
Yes.
I really liked this one for a lot of reasons. This was a really good one for. I always love Dalinar's inner reflection moments. He has a lot of them. It's kind of hard to pick like which one I like the best, but I think I like this one, just because like it's nice to see him like bounce off someone else, and especially someone like Hoyd. And seeing Hoyd be surprised by Dalinar, and like the kind of man, you know, I just love whenever people are surprised by Dalinar, because it's like, yes, you thought he was just this warmonger who takes over everything, and you know, just like anytime someone like sees to Dalinar's heart and he's like, oh, you're a pretty cool guy, I guess. Don't want to be a tyrant. I don't know, just something about it, like this the quiet inner reflection. I just love it. Dalinar's taking it seriously. I don't know. Something about it just grabs me every time. And then the last one, this is like my big, like, I have to scream at the sky moment, is when end of Way of Kings, when Kaladin turns back to go rescue Dalinar. Every single time. That, in terms of like, I know it's the first book and like we've had some high peaks, but this one was the first one. It's like it's burned into me. I love it so much. Just like this is like, it's Kaladin's gonna turn around and Dalinar and Adolin are gonna realize that they're not dead anymore. And you know, like, just that, you know, nothing can, I don't know if anything is gonna break that highest high of just when my first Stormlight book. This is what it could be. Like the big battle climax is also the character climax.
Yeah,
you know, for
really good.
For the peak of like Kaladin's character development, and it was just he made that choice.
I think I have to go with "You Cannot Have My Pain" and of Oathbringer, like that.
Yeah,
that's probably the highest high, and I was just like, oh, it's so good. It fits with like Dalinar's entire arcs, fitting the flashbacks in. I was like, oh, it's so good. Oh, I love it so much. And that's the victory right there.
Yeah.
My favorite scenes is the sequence at the end of Bands of Mourning, where after Wax sort of dies and is talking with Harmony.
This is really good.
Because it's really beautiful because I like Sazed. I know other people do not like Sazed. But it's like the nature of divinity, like both inside and outside of the Cosmere. It's just like being able to have that conversation with your god about why bad things happen. And it's just like, oh, like this is so good.
It is really good. Did we get everyone?
Is there anyone left?
I think we got everyone.
I think so.
All
Right.
Cool.
I mean, I can do 3 more. That's fine.
No. We're like 30 minutes. We're over 30 minutes in, and we have not even gotten to like any questions at all.
We got 3 questions down.
3 is great.
Yeah. All right.
There's 7 of us. That
30
10
divided
minutes
by
per
7.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. All right, so we're gonna answer 2 from Daniel on Facebook, who is marked as a top fan of ours and also as a patron. So the first one of Daniel's questions is, how can someone with 0 prior experience help editing the Coppermind? Is there a guide?
Yes, there are.
Take it away, keepers.
There are guides on the left sidebar. It says guides and policies. And you click that, and that should arrange things. If you want some things to like work on, you come join us in Discord, and we will help find you things that you want to do.
There's a Coppermind channel.
There is a Coppermind
and
channel.
there's also a Coppermind server.
There's also a Coppermind
really
editing
want to go
server
deep.
where we will help you succeed. Also, Grace, we should probably finish that thing that we were working on.
Yes, we probably should.
Yeah, there might be a video.
Realistically, you can pretty much just choose your favorite character, and like, there's going to be something you can work on. Like,
Yep. We're trying to buff.
Doesn't even need to be a character.
yeah,
No.
or your favorite like place or whatever.
So we'll leave it at that. But we can help you find whatever there is to work on. There's like 800 partially complete things that need a lot of buffing. But
I will say, because the question has come up a few times over the past few months, so editing a wiki can seem daunting, one, from just the sheer amount of content that is involved, and two, from the fact that the wiki syntax seems really arcane.
the wiki
at
syntax
times.
is really weird, yeah.
To help with the first one, we wouldn't usually throw a new editor into like, hey, write the entire history of Kaladin from the Way of Kings until Oathbringer.
Yep.
We would start with something small, either a section, like a small section of somebody's history, or a small article, or a less kind of a smaller book. I know somebody was working on Legion articles recently, and they're pretty small. Yeah, and to help with the second one, content is way more important than formatting. Like, if you come to us and give us like a plain text document that is the thing that you wanted to work on, and it's just like, hey, can you guys format this? Formatting's easy. We can take care of that, no problem.
Yep. Yeah. And again, we do have guides for like basic formatting. We have a new editor that like will do like bolds and links and stuff, which is a little nicer, because the wiki formatting is weird. Media wiki, which is what Wikipedia uses, is just really weird. Just no question about that, and so I'm sorry about that. But
and you do pick stuff up as you go along.
Yeah,
like you don't have to know everything from the beginning.
We also occasionally release objectives lists of things that people can work on, and I don't know if we put them on Facebook yet or anything.
I mean, I always send them out. Well, okay, sometimes I forget because Josh usually writes those, but I always intend to post them. And the recent ones I did tweet out and stuff. And obviously with Rhythm of Wartime, there's going to be a lot of stuff. So if you want stuff to do, there will be tons to do. And so we can definitely help you with that. Discord's just nice because it gives instant feedback. And it's really searchable and stuff, and it's organized pretty well. But you can also ask on the forums, but we are much slower to answer the forums. So. Then Daniel also asks, how long does it take to edit a Shardcast episode? What software do you use? How long did it take to edit, to actually edit the last episode you did, Alyx?
So the last Shardcast was super cursed, unfortunately.
It was cursed. The Sleepless didn't want us to get our random speculation out.
Yeah. Editing takes probably anywhere like 6 to 8 hours, I would say. Because you have 2 hours worth of video and you're going to be watching that slowly, looking for things to, that need to be cut, that need to be, graphics that need to be put on screen. If people are talking about a Coppermind or not a wob, you got to go get the wob to put that on screen, put all the effects on it. And forget to put the shadows on the Who's That Cosmere character text. And then Eric tells you about that later, that you forgot to do it.
Look, I could have done better at updating the editor's guide that we use for standards, because a lot of things have changed since last year. So,
but the other thing is, for me, I also find little like little projects to do, like, oh, they're reading something from Ben. I'm gonna go find a screenshot of Ben's face and make it do this on top of.
I'm way too lazy to do any of this. Way too
or
lazy.
I'm gonna take bloopers and put something at the end. So like that adds a little bit of extra time. My biggest problem though was we finished on Tuesday.
Yep.
And between Tuesday and Friday when the episode came out, my laptop was constantly trying to render something. And it just kept corrupting the files because I don't have a good laptop.
We literally, it took till like Friday like noon for us to get like the final rendered version. Like
really rough.
Is your laptop called Jeanette?
Yes,
exactly.
Well, we're fixing that problem for
hopefully
Alex.
that will not be a problem for too much longer. But yeah, we reinstalled. That's the software we use is Premiere Pro.
Yep.
We have the Adobe suite.
Yep.
I am hoping when I no longer have a terrible laptop with no processing power that I might be able to do some fun things in After Effects as well.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know how to do any of that.
That is After Effects is like the Photoshop version of video, so you can do some really fun things in After Effects. Rather than Premiere is a little more just putting all your clips in order. But yeah, so
we can do WAB mode and then explosions.
Yeah. So it depends on the cast, how many cuts there are to take out, how many graphics need to be put on screen, how many times people say, "Oh, Feather can do that in post."
That was a little excessive, I admit. I'd definitely say about 6 to 8 hours, and then you have to render, and then you have to upload, and then you have to put the description, then you have to upload to SoundCloud, then you have to tweet it all out. It actually takes a really long time. Probably like 10 hours total. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah. I was going to say, for me, it's about, because what I normally do is I normally do it in half-hour chunks, because sitting down and doing all 2 hours is a lot of work, and it only takes me from an hour to 2 hours to do a half-hour chunk.
Oh, wow.
I was going to say, I finally graduated from making thumbnails. I finally graduated from Paint to Photoshop. So I'm no longer making effects and stuff in Paint. I now have Photoshop and I love Photoshop.
That's so cute.
We pay for these.
Yeah, we pay for it, gotta use it.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
He was using Paint, but like we fixed those. We fixed those.
We fixed it, yeah.
But let's go to some questions from Patreon. Who Daniel asks, like, hey, do I need to post here too? And I was like, no, I got you. You're a top fan on Facebook. Top fan. Comment on our Facebook posts. And you actually read them. More importantly, you actually read the articles that we put out. That's
Daniel,
really...
That is a good man.
Damn, Daniel.
He probably hates me now. He probably hears that all the time.
So Carlin Therian asks, if you owned a ship on Roshar, where would be the first place you would sail? Also, what would you name the ship?
Do I even know what the coastal cities are?
Us Covermind people do.
Like Hebron,
I will.
Salem City,
Mornswald.
I will take the opportunity to
Crypts.
jump in and cheat before anyone else realizes the cheat opportunity here.
Yeah, just looking at the
and I'll say something like, well, it doesn't need to be a physical city, so I'll go to like Cerebrant or Lasting Integrity or something like that.
My answer is going to be, I'm going to sail to Thalen City and immediately getting into the Oathgate and going to Earth.
well, in the present time, that probably seems like a safe plan. Now, I don't think now's a good time to travel.
Let's pretend
we're not
that
at
idiot
war.
who tries to go to the Origin.
Yeah, what could go wrong?
I'm like too curious about what's there.
Oh gosh.
I would sail. I've got two options. I'm looking at a map of Roshar.
Oh.
And I would either go to
Probably
Sisemelex Dar, because Sisemelex Dar is a great name, and I just like the name Sisemelex Dar. Or I'd go to Steen, because Steen is also a great name. So I want to know what's going on Steam. What's up, Steen? What are you doing?
Steen. Maybe we'll go to Amia. Oh wait, we will in the new novella.
Oh wait,
Oh yeah.
we know.
I want to be naming my boat as well.
I'm going to pick Shinovar just because I want real food and not whatever else the rest of Roshar has to
Lobsters.
eat.
Hey, Copper Mine people, do they have cows in Shinovar? 'Cause I want
Hopefully.
beef.
Probably. Yeah, I think they probably
There
do.
was I have like a smaller like friends Cosmere server of like people from Tumblr. The
I was about to say because pig dairy sounds.
yeah. We were talking about the fact that they don't have cow dairy.
We were talking
They only
about
have
pig dairy and how
that-
unappealing that sounds.
Ooh, gross.
Yeah.
I would like to go
I
to
mean,
the
you wouldn't
Reshi
know.
Isles, though. To be
Reshi
honest,
Isles do sound nice.
Also,
sounds
someone in
fun.
chat said I don't like crab. That's true. I'm not a fan of shellfish. So-
Yeah, neither
Oh,
am I.
you guys would hate Roshar.
Yeah, I like shellfish, but Jess wouldn't. I think I'd
as long
want
as there's butter,
Yeah, but
pig
They have
butter.
Pig butter?
They have pig butter.
They do have pig butter. Yep. Kaladin
Right.
talks about a butter churn in the beginning of Oathbringer.
Right.
Force.
I've got a boat name. I've got a boat
Okay.
name.
Rowboat.
I've called my boat the Storm Wall because then when I arrive, I can be like, Storm Wall has arrived.
That's a
And everyone's
pretty
like,
good
be
name,
careful of the
though.
Storm Wall.
That's a
And I'm
pretty
like,
good
heck
name. I
yeah,
like
be
it.
careful of the Storm Wall, guys.
Oh gosh, boat names.
I will probably have something with silver in it.
That's
Makes
cute.
sense.
Silver Sail.
Ooh, I like it.
I might go with something along the lines of Flickerwing, just because it's
It's kind of a cool name.
an arrangement of words I particularly like.
And there's lots of like insecty bug things on Roshar with buzzy wings.
Just call it the
I would
Kremling.
call my ship the Larcerin, just because it's a cool word and we don't know that much about them.
No, we don't.
It's Lancerin.
No. Well, I'm gonna say it wrong, and that's gonna make the ship unique.
I think I'd want to
Really?
like go up to Ral El
Is
Arim. I want to know
that-
what's up there. You know, that's where I want to
The
go.
City of Shadows.
I know.
Shadow.
I'm sure it's nice. You know, under
Alright.
Voidbringer control, it'll be nice.
I have a plan. So the storm
Plan.
only goes like across Roshar, so I get to Thalen City and I just go south
Okay.
past the
Ah.
South Pole up the other side.
Where Third Storm is,
Ah.
that goes north to south.
Oh god.
What would you call
we
it,
don't
Grace?
know if that is the case.
I feel like for names, I'd want to try to pull something from the story about like the sailors on an infinite sea, but I'm not coming up with anything off the top of my head.
You just name it Pooley's Lighthouse.
I would steal like a Shadesmar name. I love the cognitive names for things. Like they
Yeah.
just
Mm.
name they just name them for the things that they are. Lasting integrity. I'm just like
Yeah,
I want
Emberdor.
something like that. It would be like
I am the
You know-
caretaker of laughter.
something yeah, like it's like they're delightful.
Mhm.
Just name your ship Merciful Domi. What heightening are you?
Just name it Cognitive
Uh.
Shadow, and then the Fuse are like, "All right, cool, you're one of us. Nice."
Fused, not allowed. On board.
All right, so this one asked, I think this person thought that Brandon would be answering questions, but I don't know. We'll just read it because it's a patron question.
We can pretend to be Brandon Sanderson.
Sure, why- it's a
Cool,
very
Brandon.
specific question.
Everybody
Okay.
will play Brandon.
Because they were initially human, would the Khandra of the first generation appear as humans after death in the cognitive realm the way the Koloss did in Mistborn Secret History? And in Shadows of Self and Bands of Mourning,
This
it's
is
mentioned that
dramatic.
the oldest Khandra of that era, about 350 years after the Catacendra, our third generation. Did the first/second generation not get not get restored? Did they choose to kill themselves, die of natural causes, or what?
They chose to kill themselves, which is stupid. I hate that that's what happened. They figured out how they can die, and then they just died.
I'm a conscientious objector to this question, so
It was a patron question, okay? They paid good money to ask this question.
It's okay. They asked it to a stream that includes Ian.
I totally forgot they
Evgeni,
chose to do
and-
that, Ian.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that. Wow.
Because it's the mechanism that Palm used to kill herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Oh.
is essentially they want to die and they die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I
just
just,
like,
I just don't see the point of why.
did like the
the
first
first
generation have
generation for everyone.
spikes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
By definition, if they're contract, yes, they have spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah, they
They're
got transformed from
directly.
Terracemen, Pac-Man into goop monsters, into mist wraiths, and then received spikes.
Yes. And I
I'd also
would
say-
expect they would show up as humans after death.
The fact
Because
they
they-
always choose to become humans, tells me they still see them as human, themselves as human, because that's why they always become human.
I agree. Cool. That's
Cool.
all.
Me and Alyx just staring into
Yep.
space.
Like, no. Make it stop.
Hey, if you are fighting the fight to not get shamed for not liking dramatics, then it goes the other way as well.
What?
Let's go to 17 Shard and answer those questions that were posted there. Karger asks, how did you become the all-powerful mods that command our allegiance?
Lol.
Oh boy.
I was here from the
remember.
beginning, so I've always been here. What's up?
I technically Coppermind editing.
Coppermind editing is a really good path if you want to be mod.
Mhm.
That means we know that we can work with you. It's kind of a nice prerequisite.
And then I became an admin to write news articles, which I don't do anymore.
No, you don't do that
And
anymore.
then-
I kind of forgot that, actually.
Yeah. And then
Demoted.
Demoted.
what
Big
would
fella
eventually become Arcanum.
I asked for it a lot.
Yeah. Don't do that for admin. That won't work. That will not work, my friend.
Fell for
We'll see.
admin. Fell for
Hashtag
admin.
hell for admin.
Fell for admin.
Yep.
I made a video series called Walking to Your Theory where I talked about all the chapter that came out, and I did it weekly. And Eric was like, "This dude is putting out weekly videos. We should get him make videos for us." And then you
3 years later, we have some video content.
We've now got some video content.
Yeah.
But what happened was then as soon as you then promoted me, I started working on videos, and then I got a new job where I suddenly had a lot of less
for
spare
sure.
time, and I
That just
and then you just kept me around because I'm here now, so I'm sticking around.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember exactly. So I was on 17th Shard from pretty close to the start. I think I joined in the first year, but I wasn't a mod for a while. I was just a user.
Mhm.
And then I think there was some drama with the Tumblr fandom at the time.
2014, baby.
Yeah, and I
At the
was
time.
I think at the time we talked about like being a Cosmere amphibian who was someone who's like really connected to the Tumblr crowd and someone who also had been on 17th Shard and like new stuff there. And so I ended up a little bit as like negotiator between the trying to help. It was just sort of like people were getting very invested in certain discussions, especially around like shipping and
Capital
stuff.
I invested.
And there were lots of emotions
No
running really
response.
high and people being oh gosh
There it is.
people being upset that there was that there's standards on 17th Shard that you can't have certain discussions in certain ways. You can't like resort to name calling and things like that.
What? No way. Yeah.
And
you
so
can't
I
do that.
believe I was modded in the midst of all of this
That's
to
true.
kind of be able to be a voice for the more creative Tumblr-y side of the fandom, so they would know that 17th Shard is not just a place for people who are hardcore realmatic theorists, but
Yep, that's
also
our
people who
constant
love to do ships and character-y stuff
Yep,
too. And I think we've gotten really good at that. So
Yeah. Grace, what about you?
I also took the Coppermind route, though I think back in the day, I used to wake up at 6 a.m. to get ready for school, and one of the first things I would do is check the 17th Shard. So back then, I caught like a lot of spammers and reported them, and I think that helped in my promotion.
I literally don't remember that.
I remember that a bunch of you, it was like an in-person convention or signing. And then a bunch of you met Grace, and then you came in and you were like, we need to make Grace a mod. And,
Oh, yeah. Jordan Con 2018, I think that was. That
Yeah.
was when people
Yeah.
met Grace in person. Yeah.
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 Oh, she was not mod before?
No, I don't think
No.
so. But I think she was Coppermind staff.
I was modded like a week or two after Jordan Con ended, I think.
Yeah.
I was
Cool.
I think I was modded at the same time. Me and Argent and Jebus got modded at the same time in like the lead up before Oathbringer.
Yep. Correct.
I was it was sort of like I ended up on the Discord because Alyx said, "Hey, I'm gonna do some readings, and if you wanna like come in and listen," and I'm like, "Okay, 17 Shard. It's been ages. Yeah. It's been ages since I was been on 17 Shard because all I remembered was the drama back in 2014. It was like Shrudar says, like, I missed the fun. It wasn't that fun. It was like it was pretty like emotion. It was like kind of like emotionally brutal. It was
the people who caused it initially, the ire, definitely got banned.
Yeah. So anyway, I was just like really active. And I think this is just my guess. Eric reached out to me and he's like, do you want to be a mod, basically? And I don't know if it was just like I was active and not the kind of person to shy away from that I was. I don't know what his thinking was because
I don't remember.
Okay, great.
I don't remember. That was a long time ago. That's why I have Discord to search things.
2017. It feels like a millennia.
Oh my god.
I remember you told me you thought you were in trouble when
I did think I was in trouble. I did think I was
like, hey, I have a question for you. It was like, oh crap.
I was like, I've been in so many arguments. Oh, he's gonna tell me to cool it, and then
I mean, sometimes you do need to cool it, but no, you're in
not that time.
Not that time.
I mean, I had a similar reaction when Rubik's Josh.
Oh yes.
Like messaged me like saying like in the lead up, because this was back in the IRC.
Yeah, the IRC.
I remember the IRC. Yeah.
The old days.
So it's like he's like, oh, go to the admin channel. Like I have something to talk to you about, and I'm just like, oh God, what did I do?
That's the reaction every time. It's like, why am I being messaged by an admin?
Mm-hmm. Let's ask this next one from Fantasy Fanatic. Where did your profile picture come from, or any of the mods?
On Discord or the forums?
Well, they're pointing it to me specifically, so I guess I'll answer the first one. So mine, so Grace has her Eni necklace, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's her profile picture. Mine is.
What's the?
Yes.
I was gonna ask Grace, what's the story behind Eni? Like,
yeah. Let's do that.
Oh,
why is that a big deal for you?
I think I just like had finished all of the books, and then I was making an account on the Shard, and I liked the idea of Aeon Eni being like wit and cleverness, and I think I just like looked up images or something first, and I saw an Aeon Eni necklace and I liked that, and I used that as my profile picture. And then I actually got the actual necklace later, because after it had been my profile picture for a while, and I was like, oh, like I like this is kind of who I am. I might as well like have the actual necklace.
Yeah. I have 3 of the Aeon necklaces. I never remember. But my picture is Shiro Tagachi, which is from a series called Guild Wars, and I just don't want to change it because I don't know what I'd change it to. So that's what I have. There's some dumb stories about that, but we'll just keep it there.
I recently changed my icon.
I know,
on
it's weird.
Discord.
I don't like it.
Shannon's getting excited. So for a long time, my icon was just like literally like a hand holding a feather quill, because feather writer.
Yep.
And I think it was just a picture I found on the internet when I was younger, and probably didn't know that was something that should be credited to people. Should be better about that. My icon right now on Discord, I think I changed it on the forums too, is my D&D character, Magen, because Shannon and I are in a game together, and she commissioned very, very beautiful art of all of our characters, and I was like, I love him too much. I need to make Magen my icon.
It's so weird to have your picture be different. Like, I think if I changed my profile picture, like, people would be like, what is happening? I don't...
That's
like,
true.
there would be riots for me.
You and David are never allowed to change.
This will only get more anachronistic as the decades go on.
Also, I just saw that there's a Reddit for Katex, and I have to leave this stream right now so that I can post all my
No.
Katex on Reddit. Oh my
No.
gosh.
No, I don't want to change the
Oh yeah, I'm
overlays.
surprised you didn't know about it.
You guys got,
So
I'm
many
not on
Reddits.
Reddit. You guys got to tell me these
I'm
things.
not on Reddit at all.
I'm never on Reddit.
But sometimes there is art on Reddit that's not present in other places.
Well,
what
any other
Center.
profile picture stories?
Yep. So I have an Aeon Iane, which I made up because my name is technically an Aeon. So I hanging through. I had to go there. So
You didn't want to do. Oh yeah, no. I guess you did do that. Okay, cool.
Ben, what the hell's your profile?
Mine.
Yes.
My profile.
Mine came from here.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
you've been
It's
changing it
your-
recently.
It's
weird.
just your face all the time.
Yeah.
As I say, mine. I've only ever had 3 profile pictures. My first was Inquisitor Eisenhorn from Warhammer 40,000. Then it was Loss, and then that became too much of a meme, so I had to change it.
Oof.
And what it is now is it's a Behelit from Berserk, which is a little pendant that you get, which is like a little skull, but the features are in the wrong places. And what you do is it's a tool you use to communicate with the gods to get your wishes by making a pact with the devil. But then it always backfires because they're horrible demons. And so yeah, I was like, I like this tool. It's a cool little image.
I just need to clarify. Loss became too much of a meme?
Yes,
Loss did not start as too much of a meme.
Because Loss, if you look at like the Google trends, it goes big at it got big at the time, and then it like kind of disappeared from the internet, and it was always like the funny secret thing people laughed about. And then it started gaining popularity again, and then I was literally getting tagged all the time when people send me pictures of Loss, and I was like, I can't deal with this. I was like, I don't even find it funny anymore, guys.
Got too
I still do
mainstream.
online.
Okay. All right.
I don't really have stories about mine. They're just like characters that I like from whatever I'm into. My Discord one used to be Cloud from the Final Fantasy VII remake. Now it's Colette Brunel from Tales of Symphonia.
yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I'll probably change it again to someone from Tales of the Abyss. And on the forums, it's a character from Yona of the Dawn. Just a fun shoujo anime. It's good times. No stories. It's just I like these characters.
That
You
makes
guys should all
sense.
know that. You guys should all know that I like these characters.
Oh, I had to sneeze and then it went away. Oh,
Oh, I hate that.
The worst.
It's the worst feeling.
This person asks, Destruction asks, will this question be read aloud? Yes. All right, cool.
There we go. Moving on.
And then Archer, going off of that, clearly had
That
a
was
lot
easy.
of fun with this next one. I'm curious, Chaos, considering contextual characteristics like cottony cumulus cloud accumulation,
Don't do this.
checking common climate coolness in Kelvin or Celsius, and comparing components of atmospheric circulation that could cause cyclones or cataclysmically consequential seasonal events. Can you please articulate which Cosmere community's customary climate conditions you'd prefer to call home?
I like tepid, you know. I like it to be reasonable.
Nice.
Oh.
Take that.
Creme accumulations.
I'd have to say Scadrial. Scadrial seems like a nice place to be.
Yeah, Scadrial.
Is that what the question was asking?
Yeah, I was asking
What
which
do you
climate
like
where
in the
you want to be.
Cosmere?
Yeah. I don't want to be in Hallandren.
I assume you're saying Era 2 Scadrial and not like Ashfield Era 1
Look, if I get
Scadrial?
to be the Lord Ruler, I'm into Era 1.
I like the mist.
I don't want to live in Hallandren. It's just too warm. I don't like tropical
I would
climates.
Trying to think. I really like desert climates, but I don't know that I'd want to live like on Dayside. On Taldane.
You really like deserts. Maybe you should play Guild Wars 2, the desert expansion, Alex.
Maybe Nalthus in the what's the country called? Titilir.
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
tropical place.
Tropical. They got restaurants there.
They
They
do have
got
restaurants.
lovely flowers and pretty statues everywhere that sometimes go to war. People tie pretty scarves all over them. That'd be a fun place to live.
I'll go if we're going pure. Is it like pure climate or just or like weather or
Based
I
off
think
of
we're all
climate.
Based off of weather.
I guess based off
on
of climate.
weather? I think I'm gonna go Shinovar.
Okay.
Yeah.
And solely based off climate and shit.
I like the. It has like a normal enough ecology that it won't be too weird, and I kind of like the idea of the storms, but it'll be like mild by the time it hits there.
Yeah.
So I
So
don't have
we
to
don't
storm,
know
like,
how the
the house being
Everstorm is
destroyed.
affecting
I'm sure it's going
Shinovar
great.
yet.
But they have
Yeah,
mountains
it'll
on
be
the other
fine.
side.
There's mountains on the east.
Yeah.
West.
Yeah.
The other east.
Both sides. Except north. That's where third storm comes in.
That's how they get you.
That's gonna
That's
be
how
the
they
new
get
meme.
Third storm. Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
fourth meal, but it's third storm.
Well, yeah, with third light, right? We had that for a while. Third light, third storm. You have diagonal storm, you know?
No.
Yeah.
Darkfinder asks, what is it about the Cosmere that has captured your interest?
Ooh.
It's good.
It's good.
I mean, I can't confirm. It is good.
I mean,
So damn big. Like obviously each individual book is generally speaking fantastic, but the connectedness, like it's the MCU appeal, right? You read a thing and it's a great book or a great series, and you read a different thing and it's a great book and it's a different series. But the fact that you've now read these two things and like they enrich each other is just good stuff for free.
Yeah.
The whole is more than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, I like Brandon's what's the word I'm looking for? He wants things to be consistent. His dedication to consistency is really important to me. Like he's something I really like. Like during one of his writing lectures, he talks about how once when some twists in I want to say Game of Thrones, which was some twist guessed, and so they changed the answer to the twists
In the TV show, yeah.
in the TV show, yeah. And he said never do that. You shouldn't. You're not putting twists in there to make your audience wrong. You want your audience to guess the twists, and like so he's always very consistent with how the magics work, and across the worlds, and also the consistent quality. Just it's a consistent thing that you can just step into, and you know you're getting good stuff, and that you know stuff about it, and that stuff.
Yeah. The changing twists also happen in Wheel of Time, because with Tame was originally supposed to be Demand Dread, and then he changed it because people guessed that. So
I pronounce it Demon Dread. It sounds evil.
I know all about this. Oh wait,
but I was about to say, like, in terms of like why do you like a thing, that's always such a. I think it always just comes down to Brandon's philosophy about, is something that just clicks with the readers, because it's sort of like, I'm not offended by comparisons to the MCU, but it kind of makes it sound as if it's like as if it's bland, because I find the MCU a little bland. It's sort of like all the interesting
we've had this conversation, yeah.
All the interesting parts have been filed down until it's palatable for the most amount of people, which is it's not really how I see the Cosmere. Like the way he writes characters, like the way the characters think, it's sort of like something about it just clicks with my filter, the way I view. The way I view life. It's sort of like there, sometimes you'll read a book and you can just tell the author is writing from a point of view that doesn't really align with yours. It's sort of like it's noticeable. Whereas like with Brandon, it's like I sink into it. It flows. It's the differences between what he thinks and what I think is not. They disappear. It's sort of like it just feels natural. Something about it. It just really clicks with me. I like automatically my answer is like, well, I love the characters. Sure, lots of people love the characters, but that's kind of like why I love the characters, I guess.
I'm trying to think. So my first Cosmere book was Mistborn, and while I think characters have more of like a staying power, like they're more what I'm interested in after I was already hooked. I think the hook itself was really just like the world building and the plot together. Because Mistborn is still the place where I tend to tell people to start because it really got me. It just felt like such a tightly plotted book. I didn't see any of the twists coming. It really just like captured me in terms of like every scene was interesting. Every scene was pushing toward something, even though I didn't know what it was. And it was just that sort of like really raw storytelling power would make me want to stick around to see just more stories from the person who wrote something like that.
Yeah.
Grace, what about you?
When it comes to me liking an author, the two things that I find most important and what really draws me in are, do I consistently have fun reading them, and are they good with communication? And Brandon is like hits both of those things really well.
That's a good answer, yeah.
Like I've read books where it's like, wow, I love this book, but I don't get sucked into the author's other books or the fandoms in the same way.
Mhm.
It wasn't my first Brandon book, but Stormlight was what really sucked me into the Cosmere, and I kind of had a realization last night, actually, that people getting magical powers as a result of trauma is like a story arc, or like kind of story archetype that I have many of the books that I quite like kind of have a similar theme of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's just something that I kind of like. And well, I'll say I think I stuck around so long because of the fandom, because you guys are all so great.
Yeah.
I like Alyx. I really liked the combination of plot and world building. Like, one of them by itself is not sufficient. I need the tightly plotted stories. And I like the tighter the plotting, the more I like it. But like after Mistborn, it's like, oh, shards are awesome, and just like seeing the connections and like seeing those connections across tightly plotted things, and oh man, like that 2008, 2009 time where you're learning about shards the first time is like, oh man, I think shards are just so cool, and how those like gods work, and like that's probably my favorite world building element. But I need the plot to be really good, and they are. The endings, you can just read part 5 of Words of Radiance and be like, wow, that was awesome, and you can just grab that anytime. It's good stuff. Oh man.
All the other Cosmere books are vehicles to get into Stormlight.
Kind of though.
Oh, good.
It kind of is though.
Yeah.
I am very interested to see whether a similar thing is going to happen with like Mistborn Era 3 and 4. Because when people ask Brandon about what he considers to be his magnum opus, he sometimes says Stormlight, but he also sometimes says like Mistborn as a collection, but especially like Era 4.
Oh yeah. Someone asked, I'm not quite sure where someone asked this, but what Cosmere book other than Rhythm of War are you most excited for?
Ooh, I like that.
So I think
Silverlight novella.
Sorry, so we heard Stormlight 5. What'd you say, Evgeni?
Silverlight novella.
Okay, fair.
Renarin flashback book.
All right, there you go.
I mean, low-hanging fruit for me, but yeah.
I'm going to say Elantris 2 because
How's that going to go?
Yeah, because firstly, how's that going to go? And also, I can't wait to compare Brandon before he was published to Brandon after 20 years after he was published. However, I don't know how long it's been.
How long it will be? How long it will be by the time it comes out?
Yeah.
But it'll
like
be
maybe
like
2025, right? Yeah.
It's been about 15 so far.
Yeah, it turns out I actually really do like Elantris after all.
You'll see on Monday.
You'll see on Monday. I forgot that episode hasn't come out yet. Yeah, it turns out I really like Elantris. But I can't wait for even I want more in that world, and I want to see that world when Brandon's written even like at the quality of writer he is now.
Yeah.
So all of the ones just listed, and the one I'm really interested in is Dust Brigade.
Yeah,
the
that's the Threnody novel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know more about that place.
I've heard of a Threnody novel. Cool.
Oh, right, because you're not on the WAB episodes.
Oh my god.
Nope. I've enjoyed my time on the WAB episodes. I don't contribute, but I listen with awe, and I'm like, oh my
God, you can like ask questions. Like it's actually kind of nice to have someone who doesn't know too much.
I'm the audience proxy,
exactly.
And I'm like,
there are always things where people are like, this podcast is too confusing. Like I don't know what's going on. It's like we're trying to do better. What's hard?
Yeah, I love representing the casual fan on WAB episodes.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a
it's a good time.
Oh, Dust Brigade.
If you
that's
ever
good.
want to, you don't have to contribute, Alex. You can just
Yeah.
experience.
You can
I learn
experience
a lot
and
when
ask
I'm
questions.
editing WoW episodes.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
wow,
good.
there's all this information out here. Who knew?
You just like send us cat pictures, and then you'll be fine.
I have the cop out answer of Dawn Shard.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Other
about
than that,
Dawn
I'll go with Stormlight 6 because I'm really excited to see what that second arc actually looks like.
Oh,
Shard.
definitely.
Yeah, that's
I'm
be fun.
excited to see what Lift is like as an adult.
Oh god, yeah.
I'm really
man.
psyched to see what she's like after 15 years. Just
That's gonna be
I'm excited.
awesome. Guys, I think I gotta go with Mistborn Era 4. Think about it for a second. How awesome that's going to be, where you have Hoyd as a main character, Kelsier as a main character. Clearly, we have a Space Age Rosharan symbol, so like we could legitimately see space fights with Skadrians versus Rosharans, and then like presumably they're going to like find Yoland and stuff, and it's the end of the Cosmere. Like, how awesome! Like, there's so much awesome that I'm like, you can't just make that a trilogy. That's so cool. Like that's what I always want to read.
I like the idea, but I hate thinking about how old I'm going to be by the time it comes
that's
out.
certainly true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
It's like thinking about later Cosmere books is always like facing my own mortality.
That's
I'm like,
true. That's
I
true.
want to be 50 years old.
I know.
I'm almost 30. It's
I know.
yeah.
But like,
I am.
how awesome is that gonna be?
I'm surprised nobody said Dragonsteel.
Dragonsteel's my close second because I want to see
that's
Hoyd as a
true.
main character so much.
Yeah, but you can in Mistborn Era 4. He'll be
But
on
Dragonsteel's
one
coming
of the
first.
ships.
But Dragonsteel's coming first.
Well, that's true. But like,
Yeah, but you got to deal with Kelsier as the main character.
but just imagine, just like it probably wouldn't be like this, but like Star Trek, Hoyd is on the bridge of one fleet. He's commanding some fleet. Kelsier is on a fleet, and they're just talking through the view screen and just like being just like all of the anger that they just have. It's just writ large across all of their minions and stuff. It's like, oh my god, I don't know what it's gonna be like, but it's gonna be awesome.
Also, I realized I need to change my answer for least favorite Cosmere character because I forgot about Kelsier. It's definitely Kelsier. He drives me crazy, and every time I hear his name, I just instant rage. So yeah, Wayne, you get second place.
Kelsier?
Get out. Don't get out. I don't want to change the overlays, but get out. Anyway.
Just
Quick
leave
aside.
the room, but keep the video on.
Yeah. Mute your audio. It'll be fine.
I can leave a water bottle in my place.
Yeah. Like Jess and I were just talking about how cool and what sort of things Era 4 could be, and I'm like, you can't just make that a trilogy. Don't make it just a trilogy of Era 1 size novels. There's so much awesome here.
Maybe they'll be bigger novels, you know?
I want them to be like Stormlight size novels. That'd be good. But like,
that's like the only way you could do it.
You can like have like an alien invasion story where you know who the aliens are, right? The aliens are Skadrians or something, or like the Skadrians are invading another place where we know who they are, right? So cool.
It's gonna be exciting.
That's so cool. We're gonna be really
just
old.
Too far
We're gonna
away.
be really old.
I'm gonna be like 55 years old.
Yeah. That at best. At best.
Yeah.
What do we got? Oh, we should probably go to Twitter. There's
Ooh,
Twitter.
Probably.
Questions?
Yeah, there's Twitter questions.
Oh.
So Evelyn says, your podcast is a lot of fun. Do any of you write your own novels? And if you do you hope to be published one day?
That is a dream I gave up
Eric.
10 years ago.
I am. Yeah, I am. I meant to make a lot more progress this summer, but I didn't. But, I'm finally giving up on one project that I've been working on. I'm like, I need to finish a book, but this next book's going to be way cooler. So I've started writing that. And, it's going to be really cool. I don't think I'm good enough of a writer to actually pull off some of the crazy world building elements that are in this, but it will be a disaster, so I'm excited.
Cool. I have I write in my spare time. I have like 2 or 3 short stories I've actually finished.
Oh, wow,
I have a
nice.
full novel planned and about 30, 40k written, but it's about giant robots, so it's fun, you know. And yeah, being published would be nice, but I don't mind if I get like independently or published. I might just go that way. But yeah, I like writing, and I'd love to sell and have people buy what I write because I think it's great.
I want to quit my day job and be a writer. That'd be good.
That'd be nice.
Brandon waking up at noon every day, definitely tempting.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. The Brandon schedule sounds great.
I would love to go to bed at 4 and wake up at noon, and that would just be my new schedule. I'm a nocturnal person. That sounds appealing to me.
That sounds appealing.
I mean, I do that right now, but that's because I don't have a job, so it's a problem.
It will be a problem. See, you just have to get a job like I have, where you get to make your own schedule. And currently, the next semester, I don't have to start till 1. Any day. So I'm basically 1 to 8. That's pretty good.
Dude, I love that.
Yeah, because no one else wants to do evenings. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah. Right. Regarding the question, I used to write more. It's been a few years since I touched original work. Actually, it's been a few years since I even touched fanfic. Shout out to anyone who's waiting on the next chapter of my Destiny fanfic. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I'll get to it eventually. It's not abandoned.
Eventually.
I stopped writing as soon as I started playing D&D. It kind of scratched the itch.
Mm.
Funny you mentioned D&D, because I do have a bunch of ideas for novels I would like to write someday. I have not written any of them for a very long time. But for the last year or so, I've been working on my own homebrew D&D setting. So
nice.
that is really fun to do. Because it's just world building. I don't really have to worry about plot.
Yeah. I love
I don't want to make it sound like I haven't written anything, but it's like the entirety of my writing has been 500,000 words of roleplay.
Yeah, I have done a lot of that.
Fan fiction characters.
I was going to say, I unashamedly love writing Cosmere fan fiction. I have ideas that I don't think Brandon's ever going to get around to, so I'd like to write it myself.
Yeah, fan fiction is great.
So, someone asks in chat, Feather Destiny like the game? And the answer is yes. Feather is very into Destiny, the game.
I play lots of Destiny.
Especially when it's rendering.
Fic about...
Say.
Gosh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, rendering has bricked up my laptop. I'm like, well, guess I got to play Destiny. Right? Fanfic about my Guardians. Destiny is Stormlight Archive, by the way. Anybody who's in both fandoms, tell me I'm wrong.
No. I don't like shooters.
Same thing.
I'm not really a writer. Every once in a while, I'll get like an idea for a fanfiction stuck in my head, and I'll just write like the first 500 words down to get it out of there, but I never do it I do it knowing that I'll never finish it.
It's really hard to finish things. I just need to be less lazy and actually like write a thing and then consistently write it. Because that's the most important thing. If you want to be a writer, you just got to write consistently. It doesn't matter how much you write consistently. Just like 200 words a day. You'll eventually get things done. You just got to consistently do it.
Finishing is a skill that you have to develop.
I know. That's why my old book, I'm like, I need to finish it. And then it's just like, no, it's just too broken. It's like,
every so often I read Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't really want to finish any of them. I just want them to, like, not be thinking about it constantly anymore.
Well, then it's just like, it's getting it out of my copper mind.
Which reminds me, I need to write the first like few hundred words of the Adolin ballerina fanfic idea. Because Adolin would love being a ballerina, and you can't convince me otherwise.
He's so good at it.
Evgeni's face is just like, what? What is this?
Physicality, shows a gracefulness, gets to wear like fun costumes.
That you sold me actually. That was pretty easy.
Yeah. Frank, what was I gonna say? I don't remember. I had a thing.
We could go to the next question. Just
okay,
if you think
go ahead.
of it. But this one kind of connects with the previous one. It's like, Amy asks, do any of you admin types have day jobs beyond 17 shard? Which I find
doesn't pay.
If so, what do you do? Thank you for all your content and commentary. The answer is we all have day jobs. We don't make like any money for any of us to pay rent at all. Like literally zero of us.
We pay money to make this work.
We pay money to make this work.
Eric does. I don't pay.
Well, now we're like about even. We're a little bit better than even. But I would like to pay editors more and like paying people for their time on this. But yeah. But it's like it's
Editors
not
for-
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my job right now is job hunting, but
Yeah.
which is
Great
super fun,
timing, right? Yeah.
given the global situation. But yeah, we're hopeful something might come through soon.
Day jobs. What do people do?
I'm a college student.
Okay.
I don't remember when that was a thing.
Back in the
I
day.
write software. And
I am in-
have to wake up at not noon,
Oh,
but
man.
way earlier than noon, and
That
that's very
sounds
sad.
That does sound awful.
I am an accountant working from home.
I'm a designer drafter for like mechanical stuff. I like it. I use AutoCAD and
it's
Inventor.
amazing.
Woo.
I know every single one of these words.
It's
and-
almost
and
like you
they
like
just
Navani
don't
or
go
something,
together.
Ian. Like, I wonder why.
See, I know Ian doesn't want to say any more, but Ian has a really cool job. He just can't say any more, but it's really cool. I think it's really
He has security clearance and stuff, right?
I just
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
cool.
Can't talk
I
about
just-
it.
I just graduated from graduate school, and I am hunting for jobs in communications and foreign policy. So
I teach
hopefully I'll
math.
be joining Ian in not able
Yeah.
to talk about my job.
Yep, that's right. It's like, hey, how was your day at work, Feather? It's like, I can't talk about it. It's
Well,
good.
I
You can just
worked.
keep it at home. You can't bring work at home, right? It's nice. I run a math tutoring center at a community college, and I teach college math. And so that's what I do.
I'm a sysadmin.
Is Nightblood now or ever was a hemalurgic spike?
I sure hope not.
I don't think so. I would say no.
I don't know how that would work because I'm
I
pretty
think you
sure
would-
you'd just die.
I think you would need to be a spike first, and then you melt down the spike to make the sword and awaken the sword that used to be a spike. That makes sense?
I don't think that's going to work.
Okay.
I think the
I think that's
investitures are just going to conflict.
Yep.
I think it would work better than trying to stab someone with nightblood to give them hemalurgic powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nightblood gives you the hemalurgic power of dead.
Yep. It's like, you're dead. Cosmere Conversations asks us, thoughts on
Oh,
Rashadium?
hello there.
Yeah, hi. Were they the Herald's horses, or maybe an early creation of the shards? Presumably the honor cultivation.
Well, I don't think horses existed on Roshar until the humans did.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I think they must be recent in the way that humans are recent.
Mhm.
And I think it must have taken a little bit of time for a collection of horses to become, connected to music spren.
Mhm. I tend
So-
to think it was
I-
a natural process.
I was
Same.
thinking
Like,
natural
Spren
process.
gaining intelligence just sort of developed over time. That's as much romantics as you get out of me.
I'm really impressed,
I
though.
believe we have I believe we have confirmations for a lot of this stuff. So yeah, I don't think they were heraldic in any way. I don't think they were intentionally crafted in any way. It was just many of the species on Roshar develop symbiotic bonds with
Yep.
Spren, and even though horses came with the humans from Ashen, they for some reason happened to develop one of these bonds as well.
They are weird. I do want to know more about them eventually, though.
Mhm.
Like, just
Yeah.
how that works.
Like, why music spread?
I have music Spren.
Well, I think we came up with a theory recently that
Rhythm.
it was like the rhythm of them galloping, like
Hmm.
that rhythm.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That, like, I do think so, because like a lot of
I think I saw
spren, like, yeah, are attracted to. It's like it's sort of like in the same kind of way that like humans, something in them attracts spren more than the singer's listeners. It's sort of like there was something new. I can totally see it. That's cool.
Could also be
Hmm.
something like people have long since believed that like their horse is smarter than regular horses, a la horse girl novels, and therefore like the cognitive aspect of horses got better because people thought
There's enough horse girls on Roshar that they turned
the horse girls on Roshar created Rashadia. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Kind of though.
Listen, I'm great at this.
I would buy that. I'm dismissive of Argent's dismissiveness.
Adolin is a horse girl novel, okay? That is, yeah, okay.
Adolin is a horse girl.
Someone asks, showing us the picture from Steve Argyle with the Bondsmith one. Asking the Bondsmith with Shardblade, maybe some oath will give them access to it. Thoughts?
I literally have no idea what this question's asking.
Oh my god. So Steve Argyle has spoken a few times about the canonicity of his drawings, and the phrase he's used a few times is they are official drawings, but they're not necessarily canon. So the fact that there's a bondsmith with a blade in there is not necessarily indicative that there could be a bondsmith with a blade, which we know cannot be the case as per WoB.
I was gonna be like, maybe the Stormfather is just a jerk, and the other bondsmiths.
I mean, that's entirely possible, though. But
dang it, WoB's killing my
not
fun.
mutually exclusive. He can also be a jerk.
That's true. That is true.
Yes, it's true.
I'll say, isn't it? So if we don't have a character as the right gender for a order, he just puts like random male or random
generic,
female. Generic. Order
It's kind of a shame because she was really hot and just would love.
Yes, you know exactly what we're talking about, right?
I want her to be real. I know it was like Steve Argyle, and I was just wondering like how he. Anyway, I was the way the question was written. I lost. So
yeah,
and just her design is like character design is fantastic.
Yeah,
I love it
that's
so
really
much.
cool. Really
Love
cool
all the
Makabaki
glowing
person.
gemstones.
Yeah.
the
Everywhere.
exposed thigh that's glowing softly. Just I'm not straight, guys.
I can't wait
I
to see
am, and I feel the
Fucker.
same things.
Yeah. All right. Bitsphere asks, who is / would want / would hate to be a beta for Brandon's Cosmere books? And so I have to say, go listen to our part 2 of our live stream where we kind of talk about that. But I don't know if anyone has anything they want to add.
For the people who weren't here for that stream,
well, yeah. But we just don't.
There are members of the cast that are beta readers. There are members of the cast that are not.
Correct.
We don't generally like talking about it because we don't like drawing attention to it.
And we don't like lording it over people. Like, that's not the point.
I will say. So it is no secret that I did beta for Legion, the most recent Legion book, and while it is nowhere near the size of a Stormlight book, it's like a 7th of a Stormlight book.
Yeah.
Even a book this small, reading it in a kind of imperfect, incomplete state, and then going back and like reading the final product, which just reads better and it reads differently.
It's just so much better.
It's weird, and also like the emotional impact of the book is really weird because like you read the beta draft, and yeah, like the emotional beats are kind of there, but not all of them are exactly right. And then you read the final product, and you just don't get the same emotional beats. Because like you already know what's gonna happen. Like
some
the
of your
build-up doesn't work for
biases
you
come
anymore.
from the original and go into that final version, and you're like, oh, that's
And
It's
there
weird.
are places where you're like, this was better in the beta,
That's not very
Why did you
common.
change it, Brandon?
Yeah. The vast majority of the time, it's way better in the released version. Way.
Yeah. That's true. But there are things where people disagree.
Yep.
And it's just such a weird experience. So,
as someone who can truthfully say he's not a beta reader, if I was offered the chance to read a book early, I'd have to think about it, but then I'd probably accept anyway.
Like, it's even just reading it early, like it just like means your hype's just different for the release thing. It's just weird. So.
I know it was kind of a difficult choice for me because I was doing Splintercast reads at the time, which was a series, an audio series that we did where I would react to books when they were released
back in the day.
And like that was a really cool experience, and I held off on being a beta for a while because I wanted to be able to do that, and so you kind of lose out on some of the projects that you want to do and stuff like that. It was definitely a trade-off, but
Genzen 2103 asks, do beta read influence theorizing on the podcast? Well, you might notice that some of our content is a little different in 2020. So no, you will not find out things from Shardcast. I'll just say that. How about that?
We try very hard not to drift toward topics that could
wait out. Wait out.
It's why you were the producer on the Dawn Shot episode.
No, I was the producer on the Rhythm of War thing from the newsletter.
Sorry, Rhythm of War thing.
Real quick, so Ciro asked if I could do a Splintercast on a beta read chapter. Unfortunately, no, it does change a lot. I mean, not like a lot, but the other thing is like when you're in a beta mindset, you're like, what needs to be fixed? What doesn't make sense? What isn't hitting right?
It's a critique mindset.
Yeah, so you're kind of in a different reaction state. I actually did there's an interlude that you guys were like, oh, we want to hear you record your reaction to this beta chapter, and I was like wondering if it was something that could be released, and looking back on it now, it's like no, it couldn't come out because it's changed. It's really different. So Splintercast or it just doesn't work.
Yeah, and
also beta stuff can't be public, so
yeah, we just can't talk about it. And to be honest, you're just getting a better version. Like you just are. It's just always better. So Brandon really finds that valuable. What else do we got? I think we're nearly done with our questions.
I've seen a couple of questions in the chat.
Oh, great!
I remember.
Cool.
Where did it go?
I don't know.
I think one was just where are we from, and do we know how many people who are Cosmere fans do we know in real life?
IRL.
Around us.
It was actually a college friend here who got me to read Brandon Sanderson in the first place. I don't really know if there's I haven't really looked for an in real life Sanderson fan group, mainly because I kind of get all the fan interaction I need. Like I've got Alyx, and I've got and then basically she led me to 17th Shard, and now I have my friends here, and it's sort of like
us.
It's like all my needs are kind of satisfied here.
I met a student who happened to be a member on 17th Shard, which I didn't know until I gave a handout that had references to the War of Reckoning on it, and he posted it on the Shard and was like, whoa, my math instructor is a Cosmere fan. And then people were like, is your math instructor just chaos? I was like, yeah, hey, that's me, what's up? And I knew exactly who it was in my class, but I don't think I've met like naturally, like obviously in cons I've met some people, but I don't
people
know,
I already knew who happened to I find out friends I already have who I find out, you've read Sanderson.
I find cons really exhausting. Like they're fun, but like want to go to sleep after that. That's just a lot of people. Like it's easier to talk in Discord for long periods of time. I do tend to prefer it.
So go ahead.
No, you won't.
Keep doing this.
If we do a real Shardcast, we need to do hand raising. That's what we got to do.
Yeah.
We'll need to do the hand raising.
We'll switch to Zoom calls so you can do the hand.
No,
don't
Zoom's
use
much
Zoom.
worse.
It's terrible.
Don't use Zoom, guys.
So I'm originally from Texas and lived in Texas and worked there for a while. I'm no longer in Texas. I'm now in the Metro DC area, but not actually in DC itself because it's super expensive to live in DC. And I tend to find the best strategy to get IRL Cosmere fans is to cultivate them yourself. I like reading the books out loud. And so I have read books to my mom and my sister. And anytime that I had roommates, I would always be like, hey, so you should check out this Mistborn book. And actually, my next door neighbors have my first Mistborn book because I was talking about it a lot and was like, hey, just get a cheap paperback version of the books. Don't give them your nice ones. Don't give them the first edition hardback. Just get like a cheap paperback and like peddle it. Just give it to the people that you know around you. Get them into it.
The Sanderson section on my bookshelf is empty because almost all of them are at my brother's place. So
wow, a lot of my Mistborn paperbacks, they're well loved. I gave them out. I think in like 2008, I was like in a class and I was like, I think I was like talking about Mistborn and I was like, look, I got paperbacks I can give. That's not a problem. I can make that happen. But they usually don't turn into super fans. So
Yeah. I've been using the graphic audio adaptations to convert my parents.
Very nice.
Because we live in Connecticut. My sister lives several states away. So it's like the 3+ hour car ride. I'm like, oh, instead of just listening to music, why don't we start listening to this book called The Way of Kings? It was the only book that I had the first part of to actually start. So like we've listened to Way of Kings and Words of Radiance, and we're currently on Warbreaker.
Nice.
And they just recently did a trip without me because they did it they're both retired and can go in the middle of the week when I have to do my job. And they were just telling me, it's like, yeah, the car ride was really long without the story. It's like, we miss it.
That's cute.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Aww.
I met a bunch of people on maybe not the first, maybe the second Brandon signing I went to here in Chicago. And because Brandon tends to come here for signings, every signing since then, I've been just accumulating more and more people that I have like this mini con going on. And when I say mini con, I mean like 10 people. Going on in like one section of the building where the signing is happening. And so it's not that I am finding new fans. Obviously, if you're at a Brandon signing, there's a very high chance that you are already a fan. But I'm just like trying to fill those people with like fan growth hormones so that they turn into leafy super fans.
Wow.
That's a metaphor.
That metaphor.
That is a metaphor.
That metaphor escaped me. And it developed a life of its own. But so that's the thing. And like occasionally I would be like I've recruited a few people among just my non-reader or non-fantasy friends. And occasionally when I speak with them loudly and gesticulating a lot, people around me will turn like, hey, are you talking about Brent Sanderson? And I'd be like, oh boy, you don't want to get into this conversation with me.
Let me tell you about the Cosmere.
Yeah.
I was like, I know, I think because of the circles I run in are generally nerdier than normal, or they're just the nerdy communities. So I think I know I've met 4 or 5 people, like in real life, just out in the wild, who are also fans of the Cosmere.
Wild.
And
In the wilderness.
in the wilderness. And then, as you guys know, I've recently converted my wife into
Lucy.
Cosmere fan.
Highly recommend having your significant other into Brandon books. It's pretty great, I must say.
Come here.
Come here.
I'm gonna,
Lucy. Yes.
Come
Get Lucy. Oh man, you guys gotta listen to the Overlady reads. They're so funny. I find them hilarious.
How are you finding being a Cosmere fan? How are you enjoying it?
Well, I don't know if I'm a Cosmere fan yet. Like, I've only just started the Stormlight stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like it's a bit too early.
No, you've done all of Mistborn. You've done Elantris, and you've done Warbreaker.
Yeah.
I would consider you a Stormlight fan at this point.
I love the people in the comments who said, it's like, wow, you read really fast. And then we're like, yeah, we delayed posting the Era 2 video.
Yeah, I have Elantris ready to go, and I have Warbreaker to edit. We did the Warbreaker episode the day after Elantris.
Look, we have to space out this content here. We can't just do this daily.
I'm currently 60% of the way through
Wave
Kings.
Kings.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're pretty far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chat says, how
like
whiny are you finding Cal?
pages into the Cosmere.
Oh, yes.
I love Cal.
Yes,
Cal
that's
is
the right
like
reaction.
the
Yes.
best part of the book. Like, I don't know how long it's been since you guys have read Way of Kings, but I know. But because it's sort of the setup book for the Stormlight archive, there's like chapters that are like 2 hours long where there's just two characters talking. And it's so
That's
long.
The good stuff.
It's so long.
I love it.
Yeah.
I will say you are further in the Cosmere than I was when I became a Cosmere fan because the Stormlight Archive didn't exist. So
and chat's like, oh, you're such a fast reader, and it's like, again, you're a teacher, and it's the summer.
Yeah. And I have to get these books read by September because otherwise it's going to take me a month to read each book.
Oh man, no Overlady reads Rhythm of War in November.
Well, we'll do what we
That's
can.
sad.
maybe Christmas break.
I will try, but it might be a case of having to like
Wait till
do
December.
each part
Yeah.
at a time.
Ooh, great! That's more content. I like it. More views. I like it. I'm a fan of this. Please feel free to do part by part episodes. That's not a problem. Don't you worry.
I'm probably
Should be
going to do
Stormlight,
Way of Kings like that, just because what I'm doing with Way of Kings, because it's such a long book. At the end of each part, I'm like writing notes about what I think is going to happen, or like theories I've got, or things I've worked out early.
Yes.
She's genre savvy. She knows.
Or when you accidentally get told that Hoyd is wit.
Okay, so she was going through the letter, and she was trying to guess who the letter was from, and then she was like, oh, I was reading it, and then they said the 17th child is hunting them, so I was like, oh, so you worked out it was wit?
No. I told you how I worked out it was Hoyd.
Yeah.
And then you referred to the letter as the letter writer being wit.
Yeah.
And I was like, you've just told me it's Hoyd. And then I was like, oh, are they the same person? Because my theory up until that point was that wit was a Kandra.
Yeah.
Because something about him wasn't right. I just couldn't put my finger on it. So I'm glad that
it's not as bad as what I spoiled Feather on, I think, that one time for Oathbringer, I think. Is Oathbringer right? I spoiled
Don't say it while Lucy's listening. Take the phone out.
No, it's fine. We won't talk about specifics, but I know I spoiled something for you, I think.
Cool.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That wasn't a spoiler. It was fine.
Okay. But no, I think part by part's good. Look, the more you record by September, we can just sprinkle them out later. It's like, good. That's solid.
Good.
I think that's solid. And I think people have really been enjoying it, although people were like, man, it's hard to hear criticism of Era 2. I was like, well, I found it hilarious to bashing on Wayne. It's hilarious.
I just think that when you compare Era 2 to any of the other like books or series, it just doesn't hold the same weight. And like I was saying to Ben when I was reading it, it feels like a first book. It doesn't feel like he's already written this books and series. It felt very sort of early writing.
I think it's because it was unplanned. I think is the main problem.
Yeah.
Probably. Anyway, should we move on to the next question?
I was just want to say about Era 2, it's sort of like, it was like, oh, I heard, like, we hear about your thoughts before they actually go live, right?
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, oh, she did like Era 2, and then I saw everything that she didn't like, and I'm like, oh, that's fair. Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Western fan either, like, honestly.
I've got to be honest, I'm excited for book 4, just because I feel like book 4 might be a bit more.
Yeah.
Like,
you might see what happened to the girls.
Yeah, might finally find out what happened to the girls. But I want book 4 to sort of be more like a Mistborn book, and not, because my biggest issue that I had with Era 2 is it felt like it was set on Earth. It didn't feel like it was in like a different world. It didn't feel like it was a different place. I'm kind of hoping that going to the south, they might have like cool alien, like futuristic technology and things that you wouldn't find on Earth that would make it just feel a little bit different.
So do you want to be disappointed by what I'm about to say?
No, I'm taking the headphone out.
I was like, should I say it? But like, yeah.
I was just gonna say that it's an Earth analog world, and so it's like that's a fair critique.
It's
like
gonna
that's all I was
be the
gonna
world.
say.
It's gonna be the world most like Earth.
Yeah. It's like that's all I was gonna say. It's not a spoiler or anything. It's just well,
it might be a spoiler if she doesn't want to hear it. So.
I mean, I do think the southern place will be way more interesting than the north.
Era
for sure.
3 being like 80s, and I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's gonna be Mistborn Cold War. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Also,
with enough magic tech, it's going to feel foreign enough.
Yeah. Now that she's not listening in, Eric spoiled who Azure was for me.
Oh yeah.
That was the spoil. I was like,
what?
Who Azure was?
Azure. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's definitely something I'm keeping from this one.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I was like halfway through part 3 and had met Azure, but had not yet figured it out. So
I was like, oh yeah, you know who it is. Yeah. I was like, oh,
it's like. Squint.
It's kind of like I almost wish Brandon didn't say that Vivenna was gonna be in the book.
Seriously, why did Brandon do that? Brandon just shut up before the book's out.
Because then I was on the lookout, and I didn't necessarily want to be on the lookout. It still took me a few color metaphors to figure it out, but I did figure it out.
I did not know she was going to be. I did not remember that Wob. Did not know. I picked it up in like part 4 when they're doing. It took me until they were doing the combat, and then they were like, "Oh, I was taught that by that same person who taught you guys." And I was like, "Wait a sec."
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I think I might not have picked it up until part 4 either. Or like very toward the end of part 3. For like the longest time, I thought she might have been a herald, and then all the color metaphors.
I think I was in part 4. It was like the one I know I missed some because people said they caught one earlier, but I was like, it was like that's going to be Crimson to Break,
Crimson
and I was like, wait a second,
you're not from Roshan.
Yeah, I think it was Crimson to Break for me as well.
Yeah. I missed Vasher entirely. I got to the end, I was like, Nightblood's here? What happened to Vasher? Is Vasher okay?
That definitely.
And Eric was like, you didn't see Vasher?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
In the first
I missed Vasher too.
Like once like I saw Nightblood, then it like things started to click.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so excited to hear her reactions. Lucy's just laughing in the background.
I can't.
Just because she's looking at the chat and the chat are saying things.
Don't look at the chat!
Don't look at the chat!
There's spoilers in there.
I'm going to turn that off. Look what you've done.
Turn chat off. You need to turn off the chat. Turn off the chat. No
one
chat
of my favorite Tumblr posts about Oathbringer is someone's like, I just met High Marshal Azure like 2 seconds ago, but I already love her. And then like a couple hours later, they respond, wait a second.
Chat, rip chat. Truthless of Shinovar asks, what's your favorite thing you have done /learned during quarantine?
Ooh.
I've not done a dang thing I've wasted this summer so effectively.
I've discovered that jigsaw puzzles are great. We have done so many jigsaws in this lockdown.
Ooh. I haven't done anything enough to be like, this is the one thing I've done. It's just I've read more, I've been cooking more. I haven't been exercising more. I should get on that. I'm eating so much healthier. I'm not going out for lunch every day because I'm too lazy. You know,
I've gone out to lunch.
It's like, why would I go out? You know, when I'm not at the office and I'm just too tired to think about preparing meals. But I do like cooking when I can eat it for supper. But then it's like I'm not as tired anymore. Quarantine's been really good for me. I don't know about you guys.
I like quarantine. I just miss going to the gym because the gyms aren't open here. So
oh yeah.
I can't work.
Go ahead.
I moved into an apartment all by myself for the first time right before quarantine happened. So it's like that's been interesting.
Yeah.
But
plenty of time to decorate, you know?
Yeah. Lots of people to talk to online at least.
Yeah. So it's like, I was planning have like some of my coworkers over. Because like I live relatively close to work now. I can walk to work, which is nice. And then quarantine happened. It was like, no one has been to my apartment.
Yeah.
I feel like my biggest accomplishment was just finishing grad school. That was a big one that happened. My final class was, I did one last summer class to get my last credits. And it was this super intensive, but really not necessarily fun, but just like really engaging class that we were doing a lot of like simulations where you were having to work with a team to pretend you were accomplishing whatever the task was.
The stats class was last summer, right?
Yeah, stats class. I cried in stats class.
You did cry. I had to help.
I cried in this one too, but that was for a different reason. I had one teammate who was just really terrible.
Oh, that one! I remember that. Yeah.
But despite having a terrible teammate in one of the groups, the class was like really engaging, really fun. Super, super intense. We were doing 30 hours of work outside of class sessions every week to get that stuff done.
Oof.
But we did it. I lived. I got an A. Woo.
Nice.
Any other things learned and stuff? Grace?
I don't know. I finished the Skybreaker article. That was nice.
Nice. Got finished Coppermine. I haven't done much.
I don't know. Nothing in particular I can think of.
I just wasted the entire summer.
I got back into MMO. Just I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a great way to waste time.
Ooh, there's a new Guild Wars 2 patch on Tuesday. Yeah, that's gonna kill a week. It's not like the semester is starting in like 2 weeks for me or anything. I don't need to do much prep for mine anyway.
I'm looking forward to building a new PC, but that's not quite there yet.
Nice. Someone asked in chat, how much do you think the channel will grow until Rhythm of War release? I think it will grow much more after the release, personally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll grow that much before, like some. But
yeah, I mean maybe from the previous chapters a little.
Yeah.
I don't know about the channel, but I'm seeing all sorts of people come back to forums and Discord who haven't been active.
That's certainly true. Like a lot of old faces. Yeah. Just like the months after Rhythm of War release, like pre-release and then post-release, our Rhythm of War reactions podcast is gonna get a lot of views. Our Oathbreaker reactions get a lot of views, and that was a frickin' screen. That was just audio, and that has over like 10,000 views because we didn't do video for like a year later, right? For video.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot that.
So like we started with like Skyward's release, right, with video. So our Rhythm of War reactions podcast is going to be real popular, and so we definitely need to remind them that we do not listen to the audiobooks for our pronunciation. Or at least I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise people would be like, you guys pronounce terrible. I still get things in the Rhythm of War predictions, like weekly. You guys pronounce things totally weird. Yeah.
Eventually we'll get enough names. We'll do another pronunciation cast and everybody can just get it all out in one.
Yep, the Spanish-speaking community grew thanks to a Spanish YouTuber. Yep, I talk with Yasandra a lot. Yep. Mm-hmm. They do great editing. I don't have enough time to do that.
They do great. A lot of stuff, really.
They don't sleep. That's what I've learned. They work way too much. I was like, my advice as an admin to another admin, you gotta make sure you leave time for yourself. that was my advice to them.
I got a message from Paleo where apparently someone asked how to get into Arcanum editing and contributing, similar to the Coppermind question.
Did we ever put up the to-do thing? I don't know. Like, Mestiv has kind of been super busy, and so Arcanum's really not changed at all since Oathbringer came out. Literally at all.
Arcanum is kind of a big beta. I mean, it's not a beta, but it's not 100% polished.
Oh, it's just because we never redid all the menus because there was other stuff to do, and we didn't do that. Yeah.
There's always other stuff to do.
There's so much stuff to do.
And Arcanum is kind of lower on.
I was supposed to do site updates this summer.
Oh yeah, you were.
yeah. I was wondering what's up with that.
I did do some things, but there's a lot more things. I honestly, what I've been struggling with is I've just been tired all the time. Like, literally the whole summer. Honestly, all the time for the past, I don't know, decade. I'm just tired all the time.
It's being an adult.
No, but
great.
I think that's just adulthood.
No. Jess is like, no, this is not normal. You feeling tired all the time, and I just don't have motivation to do anything because I'm just so tired. I get to 6 p.m. and I'm like, I had dinner. I'm like, time for bed. I woke up at 11. And 6 p.m. I'm exhausted and I just cannot function at all. So that's what I.
Welcome to Diagnosis Cast, where we diagnose.
Yeah, seriously. Well, I was gonna have a doctor's appointment, but then they canceled it for Tuesdays, so I was quite cross about that.
Quite cross.
But getting into Arcanum.
Yes.
There are a few things you can do there, right? So you can transcribe audio. So you listen to audio snippets and you put them in text. I think you can find all the snippets that need transcription if you go to wab.coppermind.net/to-do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then you just pick something from there and you do the thing. There is kind of a beginner's guide. It's less of a beginner's guide and more of a instructions on how to do things.
Yeah.
You can find that in a thread pinned in the Arcanum subforum on the 17shard.com forums. Outside of that, honestly, your best bet is probably just going to the forum or going to Discord, the Arcanum channel, and going, hey, what can I do to help?
Yep.
Because things are a little bit out of date everywhere, and getting a live response is at this point going to be better than just digging through threads and stuff.
A lot of the live streams don't have stuff transcribed, so if you go to each of the the live streams and you can go into the edit window, you have to sign up for an account. There it's a different account than the Shard and Coppermind, but you can go there and anything that has a red pencil, you can just make a thing and transcribe it. So there's lots of things you can do. Usually the Cosmere stuff, Page Runner is really good at doing that real quick. That's all he does. He just does Arcanum.
Kind of spooky.
It is kind of spooky. I was like, oh, it's been a day since that stream. It's just I got the Cosmere questions out. It's oh, okay.
Yeah, it's somebody linked to the Arcanum page for this the San Diego Comic-Con video, and it's wait, this is in Arcanum already? What?
Page Runner's very motivated for Arcanum stuff, and often he
He's my favorite Bionicle.
How about others? Someone asks, what are your favorite theories that were right?
Ooh.
Oh,
that there's a Dawn Shard in Amia.
Well,
That's not confirmed yet.
It's true.
It's
Maybe
just called
it's
Dawn
named
Shard. We're
because
going to Amia.
there's a lack of Dawn Shards.
Yeah, we're finding the remaining.
well, no.
Oh man, if we turn up and there
a,
isn't actually a Dawn Shard, oh boy.
there is a paraphrased WAB that says that there was a Dawn
one
Shard in
point.
Amia.
At one point.
Yes.
We don't know if
Yeah.
it's still there.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Ben, you need to have Lucy not bang on the table. It's really loud.
Lucy, you need to not bang on the table.
Like we hear
Wow.
all that through the boom arm. Like, yep.
We can hear all the banging, Ben.
Maybe I'll cut
It's
that
our
part
house.
too.
We bang all we want.
Trying to think. Renar and Spren being corrupted was one that I was
You always
very
were like void binding and that something was wrong,
Yeah.
right?
From the end of Words of Radiance. I was like, something's up with him. And then I was right, and that felt really good. So
I think it
I
doesn't
know my
have
boy.
to be theories that we made. Like it could
Yeah.
just be
Yeah.
any
I just
fun
don't
theory.
pay attention. By Shallan, I guess. By Shallan,
Yeah.
not necessarily a theory, but that was a really cool thing to.
Yep.
Brandon gave a positive response of like, oh yeah.
I guess it's difficult because I tend to be right about so many things. I can't pick up. Like it's like picking your favorite child.
So humble.
known
but
for
most
being the
recently,
most
I can
humble.
speak to
You're the most humble person around.
Herald of Modesty. The most recent thing that I can think of is an idea that I had dating apparently all the way back to 2013. I checked the other day about the heralds and why they are insane in the ways that they are insane.
Someone in chat typed that like seconds before you said it.
Oh, well.
Spectacular.
My favorite theory was Broccoli guessing that was what your favorite theory was going to be. And then getting it confirmed.
That is a far superior prediction than I've ever had. But yeah, so that was my theory, right? That the insanities of the heralds are in line with their divine attributes, in part because the heralds, by virtue of being cognitive shadows, are being affected by the perceptions of all the people who believe in them. And so, yes, Brandon did confirm that. The question was one of mine in the Reddit thread. So I'm very pleased that this was correct and confirmed.
Awesome.
In terms of my own theories, the only one I can really think of is the Oathbringer letters. One of them being by Patchy, which I brought
That's
up
true.
on Shardcast,
That's true.
and everyone else disagreed
True.
with me.
That's
It's like,
true.
no way.
I did disagree.
And then it got confirmed.
Look, I just like that we nailed all the shards there solid because there was like discussion on autonomy there, and then I just went to signing and Brandon's like, yeah, I wasn't trying to be clever there. Like, yeah, it's autonomy. What autonomy? That's what he said. It's like, all right, well, there you go. Chat.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
I thought of another one.
Okay.
I can't remember whose theory it was, but somebody guessed that Teravangians like bind stuff
yeah. In like Way
after
of Kings. Yeah.
Way of
Oh,
Kings,
yeah.
based
That was
on
good.
like the Katek analysis thing, that it was just
On
the
a
phrase,
strong day.
we leave it to His Majesty's mind on a strong day. And they're like, I think Teravangian's intelligence is changing every day.
It's like,
And I was like,
damn,
what?
that is a great take. That is
What the
such
heck?
a great take.
I remember that, and it was amazing.
It was just like, well, that sounds so insane. And it's like, whoa, damn.
They were dead on the
Yeah.
money.
Other things were the fandom figured out that like Seth's blade was an honor blade before Words of Radiance, and that Hellerin was the shard bearer that Cal
Ooh, yes.
killed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
trying to think
got
of any of
the
my theories.
that Shalash was Jezreel's daughter off of
Oh, yeah.
the
I
daughter
also
of
love that
Winds
one.
and Vandal. Or yeah, it's daughter was
It's crazy how much people figured out just from Way of Kings. It's like,
It's pretty insane.
but I mean, there
He
is
tore that book
backsoul,
apart.
so- Yeah, yeah. I think I had smart things to say in Shardcast, maybe, but I don't remember what any of them were. But it's like, we've had some really good theorizing on Shardcast, and so I'm pretty proud of that. But I cannot remember what I said at all. So
I fully expect somebody on this stream is going to be correct about Dawn Shards.
look,
I just don't know who it's going to be.
Look, we had so many theories that one of them has to be right. Right, Alex? What do you think?
You guys convinced me. I really like the Dawn Shards became the Unmade theory. I was talked over to that one during editing. I was like,
Yeah,
that's a
I
really
want to
cool idea.
shout out Shrudar, who really wants me to be right about endowment and autonomy being dragons.
Yeah.
I want me to be right about that too.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Endowment being a dragon would be cool.
No,
like
not
it.
your theory spaceship, chat. No, boo.
Oh yeah, that was the worst theory that was shot down. Someone's favorite theory that was wrong. That one.
Chad also asks, follow-up favorite theory that ended up being wrong.
Yeah, the Earther is a spaceship one.
I think I have to go with Mist Fabrials, because I thought I had a pretty solid theory that you could probably make that, but it's just totally wrong. That's not how magical technology works on Scadrial. It's different. Maybe we'll do an episode on Medallion someday when we reread Pants of Morning.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Every time. I was
just
gonna
gotta
say,
be bold and just say things. Just be rude.
The only example I can think of is sad, and it's Shalaren, which was back when we only had Way of Kings. I was such a hardcore Shalaren shipper. I thought Shallan and Renarin were going to get along really well. I thought they could be a super cute ship. I was all in on like Vorin gender role swapping, that like Renarin was going to learn how to read, which he did eventually. I was right about that.
It just turned out that Shallan is a huge jerk.
Yeah, and then like for anybody who listens to that Splintercast, I was like, oh man, all the characters are like meeting for the first time. Everybody's getting these cute scenes together. And then finally, Shallan and Renarin went off on a secret mission at the very end, and she was horrible to him. And I was devastated.
I'm just for the record, Shallan was also not great meeting Kaladin either.
Yeah, but it was
that cute.
It was supposed to be like a cutesy scene, and like I wasn't reading that much into it the first time. But yeah, I was horrifically like I had to put the book down and walked away because I had invested so much love into this ship, and
she was destroyed at the gag line,
shot down and burned.
It was gag him if you have to. Get him to stop talking.
Anyway,
which episode was it where we talked about these things? Was it the kind of the anniversary?
What things?
Theories.
Yeah.
Oh, reminiscing
theories.
on our old theories. Yeah, it was just a dedicated episode.
So, so a lot of these things you can go and you can listen to that episode and you can get some of our answers on that.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So my answer would probably be the same one as the one before. The theory that Ishar was a prostitute.
Yeah, Alex, you have to watch that episode for. Let's just say Argent's theory about the Herald's madness went on some interesting directions. That like Ishar was like his essence was flesh, I guess, was kind of going off that, and he would just like be like a really dirty old man and like be in the sex trade or something.
I'm very concerned.
You gotta listen to that episode. That's a quality episode right there.
All right.
Well, I nailed some things, and some things were less nailed.
Turns out when you chat says not yet proven wrong.
Not yet proven wrong.
We haven't seen a shard.
Oh boy.
It's true.
I would not exactly call this a theory, but I refuse to acknowledge the WOP where Brandon is like, oh yeah, Lopen is our example of how people don't need to be broken to be radiant. Because that dude was a slave for years. He lost his arm. He witnessed the horror of war. I'm like, Brandon, how has this dude like not been through enough emotional trauma to bond his friend?
That's fair.
This isn't what chat said, but I'm gonna adapt it. Was there any wob that just like that Brandon said that just like made you have just like a weird reaction or just like an angry reaction? Because I have one where Brandon
I have one.
called the singer's listeners and was like, I think we'll canonize it to that. I'm like, don't you dare, Brandon. Don't you dare. I was really upset, but everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Harmonium.
Harmonium, yeah. You do hate that.
It's a musical instrument, not a god metal.
I had the one where Esh and I moved into the Beyond, where you can literally hear my heartbreak in the WoW.
Yes. You can listen to it on Arcanum, the exact audio. It's pretty great.
And then the second one was when he just randomly dropped that Patchy was a shard to us, and you just hear the room you could hear a pin drop in that room. Like that was like
just like
the silence.
Patchy is a shard of Adenalcia, and Brandon's like, no, I meant what I said. He's just like doubling down on that, and he's just so happy to say it too. It's like, God.
I think he has since said he intentionally said that just because he knew it would mess with us so much. Like.
And Brandon says he doesn't troll people.
Exactly.
Such a troll.
Brandon, I don't say no to theories. Brandon, I don't troll people. And like the recent streamer, someone was asking, what's the most troll answer that he gives? I don't give troll answers. And I'm like in chat, remembering from 2013 Spokon, where I asked how many shards were on Roshar, because there was like a theory that there was a fourth shard on Roshar. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to get at that. And Brandon responded with, technically every shard has invested themselves under a shard. I'm like, thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Brandon. It's definitely not a troll, but it's like, he says he does use wiggle room, but that's kind of trolling. Like, kind of.
Is that how you pronounce it? Spokane?
No, it's Spokane. It's Spokane, but it was a convention at Spokane, so it's Spokane.
Eric, what about the Lord Ruler's children aren't important?
I thought that was the one you were going to bring up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I guess I just like blanked. I just blanked with rage. Like,
how much you so mad?
Like, I'm still mad. I'm still mad about that.
Like me and Kelsier, you know.
Yeah, I'm just so angry that I just. Oh God.
The saga of Renarin's eye color wob was an experience, which was that basically I asked Brandon if Renarin had a canonical eye color at one point, and then spent like the next year and a half of like, Brandon was like, well, we have to check the internal wiki. You're gonna have to get in touch with Peter. And then I finally get in touch with Peter, and Peter's like, oh, there's not one. You'll have to ask Brandon to canonize something. So then I keep sending, like, every time one of my friends is going to a signing, they're like, hey, Feather wanted you to know that she wants you to canonize an eye color for Renarin, please.
This is all true.
And Brandon would forget about this and be like, oh, well, I think we'd have to check the internal wiki. And be like, no, I already checked with Peter. Until, like, finally at the next release, I got back to Brandon and was like, here's the deal. I'm going to lay all of this out for you, all of the homework that I've done. So it is in your court. You can just pick a color right now.
I will give it back to Peter. It's fine. I will let him know. It's not a problem.
And I got to suggest blue, and then it was canonized, and I was very excited that his eyes were described as sapphire in Oathbringer after we went through all of that pain. We did it, guys.
When Brandon's like, check with Peter, that just means you'll never find out the answer ever again. Because Peter's really busy, and don't bother him about things like that.
Peter, I do give troll answers.
Peter does. He has it for a long time, but in 2008 it was good.
He's a notorious troll.
Don't joke about Ashen being the original Yolen. Don't even joke about that, Dean. That's not good. No, you're banned. I'll ban you from chat. No, just kidding.
That's funny.
I'm particularly fond of the WOBs where Brandon is explicitly trolling me.
Yeah, I was gonna expect this about you.
Yeah, we do have a thing apparently where I guess that is how the community interacts with me now. Everyone just trolls me and makes fun of me, and that is fun for everyone except for me, and I cry to sleep.
Hey, you have good Shardcast comments. It's just aren't the meme
but
ones.
Yeah. There was a thing where at a signing we were talking about allomantic savants with Brandon, and it was like 1 a.m. when the signing was over or whatever, and would go home. And like the next day I wake up and Brandon is commenting on one of the photos that I posted of me and him from the con, opening up with, "Warning, Evgeni."
Like, see, that's such a good meme. "Warning, Evgeni."
And the warning was, he then continued on to say that he was considering about backing off from some of the savantism stuff, and maybe we shouldn't have this many savants and stuff like that. But it's just the fact that he's like, I remember this conversation we were having last night. I'm gonna go on his Facebook and give him a warning.
I need to correct this. Something is wrong. I made a mistake as just that's good.
Or alternatively, a couple of years back at Jordan Con, Brandon was doing a panel. There was just he was on the panel with a bunch of other authors, and they were talking about writerly things. And then there was a signing line at the end. It was really just an autograph line. It was not a big deal, and it was a small thing. Like, it wasn't a Brandon specific panel, and so it was a lot of writer people. And I and a friend of mine went at the back of the line, because I didn't want to like take away from his time with actual people who wanted to talk to him about writerly things. And here comes my turn in the line, and he just looks at me and goes, "Oh, they let you in, did they?"
Oh no!
It's quality though.
I have one.
So this is what I have become.
So I've only met Brendan in person once at BookCon 2018, and one of the questions I asked was in response to an earlier question someone else had asked about there being a connection between Singer Heart, gem hearts, and something in Dragonsteel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
yes.
And I asked, like, are they related to the Fane life? And Brandon just replied, like, "Oh yeah, they're related to Tamukeks." What's a Tamukek?
You don't want any idea what that is.
And he had that smug look on his face.
Oh, what, the one that I have on my face?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I definitely misunderstood the story at first and thought Brandon was posting a picture of Evgeni and warning people that the picture contained Evgeni.
That would be way funny. Warning, don't let him in the signings. Warning.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Brandon is a troll.
Brandon is a troll. Like, he'll just... he's super nice, but he can be such a troll. But like, he should really talk less about upcoming things. He really needs to stop giving things away. And I just love the Tamukek thing. Like, I just love from a previous live stream where he's like, "Oh yeah, you don't want to hang around Axies because he has the Curse of Kind." It's like, we almost forgot about that. It's like, oh, the Curse of Kind. Whoa, we like only knew like one thing about it. It didn't have a Coppermind article. That's how esoteric that was. It didn't have a Coppermind article. We fixed that.
Joe Tendo in chat has just reminded me of the man who calls himself.
Oh my god!
I always remember the man who calls himself.
And it comes from Way of Kings Prime, where that was like a big thing. But then Brandon just realized, yeah, I can't make this be Talon's arc anymore. Yeah. But like, he was holding on to that for dear life. It's just, well, he's not Talon. He's the man who calls himself Talon.
Because that was a big thing in Way of Kings Prime. Like the readers weren't certain whether, and they weren't meant to be certain whether this person is actually the Herald Town or just some madman who calls himself Town.
Yeah, but then in Oathbringer, it's like, hey, he's the Heralds, and the Stormfather's like, hey, you're in the presence of divinities. And so, what's up? How's it going? So it's like that kind of confirms it when the Stormfather's like, yeah, I agree. What's up?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, until he confirms something that gets revised in a later version of the ebook.
Are you talking about the tension cohesion thing and the other Bondsmith surge? Yeah, that...
I'm pretty sure we need to have a Coppermind article that is called the tension cohesion thing.
It was a tense debate.
Moving on.
At the end, though.
Let's end.
Fortunately, our knowledge is now cohesive.
Yeah. Let's do one last question. How do you come up with good questions? And I'm gonna assume they mean to Brandon.
You're assuming I come up with good questions. That's very bold of you.
I think writing questions is an art. I'm a little out of practice, I must say. But I thought I had it down pretty well. But you gotta be specific.
Yep.
Give context.
Yes, give context is so
Try
important.
not to leave wiggle room.
It's true.
Don't ask many questions. Like, keep it at one.
And don't ask obvious raffos. I mean, you can if you want, but
if you want a raffo card, that is the way to get it. But like, if you ask about shards that we don't know about, he's not going to answer that anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't ask if X is related to Y, because if they're both in the
Related.
Cosmere, technically he can
in the spiritual
say
realm,
yes,
they are connected.
and he has.
Yeah. Don't do that. Don't ask, like, what? Tell me a thing about this other thing. Like, don't ask that.
do this.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
something to do instead of something to not do is ask something you are legitimately you want to know
Yes.
about.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
My
Like-
strategy for coming up with questions in the past has been based on wiki articles and what I'm working on and what I have come up with while working on the article and what would make writing the article easier.
What's Morning Tide's name? That's what Jess wants to know.
oh yeah,
Still don't have a name.
Don't
still have a name.
ask questions about specific things that you want to know whether they will or will not happen in future books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Asking, hey, will Kaladin say the fourth ideo in the fourth book of the fourth series that Brandon has ever published?
I mean, it has to be true. There's so many fours in that.
Yeah, it just works like that.
Yeah.
Not a fantastic question. Asking what the fourth ideo of the Windrunners is also not a fantastic question. Asking like world buildy, character-y things. Hey, Brandon, there is milk on Roshar, but we don't know that there are cows. How does that work?
Pigs.
That is something he will actually be probably interested and passionate about. Like, here, let me tell you about all of this world building that I've done and that I just don't get the opportunity to show off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ask questions about future books. That's just a bad idea.
I feel like
the automatic read and find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like my questions tend to be character based because I always find myself wondering little details. Like, I think one of my next questions is going to be if Renarin is left-handed or not, because that was a really old headcanon I had and was like, that'd be so fun because nobody else on Roshar's.
And then he'll say, I don't
he
know,
doesn't
you
have
should
to
check
wear a
with
sleeve
Peter.
pants sleeve. And then we'll go through the cycle again.
Then the
Yeah.
cycle of Renarin continues. That's actually what void binding is, actually. The cycle of asking.
I was like, left-handed
Left-handedness?
radiance?
No, of asking Brandon questions and then being deferred back to Peter. And that's the cycle of void binding, actually.
If you're a left-handed surge binder, it's actually void binding. That's what it is.
Seems legit.
That's how it works.
What is
Yeah.
The
man?
ambidextrous radiance.
Yeah.
Radiant hands are known as the surge hand and the void hand.
Makes sense.
I love
Everyone
that.
knows that. Everyone knows that.
Also, I flipped those, but whatever.
What's left, what's right. It doesn't matter when you're specifically calling them out or anything. But it was right for the stream, you know? So.
Sure.
Okay.
Or left. Really.
I don't know how many times my face gets flipped for the stream, so.
It's reversed from what you're seeing, because Discord shows you the opposite.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but it doesn't matter, because I lifted my left hand and said this was the surge hand, and so.
Woo. I can't think that hard. It's too difficult. Anybody who's been in a raid with me knows I cannot do left and right. Really bad at it.
Is there not in Destiny like a way to ping a specific location to go there? Oh
no, it's 2 FPS. There are not a lot of things that are in other MMOs.
I mean, and there's also lots of times you need to just call something without going there or seeing it.
Voice chat for Destiny raiding.
Anyway, weird aside on raiding.
What if we talk about MCU? What if we talk about peace talks? What if we talk about Pokemon?
We can do a peace talk stream. Yeah. Chat, do you want a peace talk stream?
I can do a Pokemon stream. Let's do a Pokemon stream.
Hey,
Let's all just play Ooblets.
Cool. We wrapping up?
We're wrapping up. All right. Thanks you guys for coming. This will be on YouTube pretty soon. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome.
I see an Overlady.
Yeah.
Is she
going to say bye?
Join us? All right. Excellent.
I'll give you guys one last sleepy daylish.
Hi, baby.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi.
Bye.
Hi.
Did you have fun listening to Ben's nonsense but not hearing the other side of the conversation?
Kind of. One point where he was talking about bionicles. I legit don't know anything that was said.
Did chat spoil you?
No, but I look forward to reading it later.
She says no, but I'm sure she saw it. She says no.
I saw nothing.
She has the forbidden knowledge.
If someone can just rewrite whatever it was in the chat now.
Don't do it.
Awesome. Well, we hope you had fun. Maybe we'll do some more informal things that are informally edited later, probably with less people. I think this was too many people.
A lot of people. It was fun though.
I think this might have been too many people, guys. What do you think?
I think we need to draw the line at 5.
I'm fine, but
you don't want 8-person Rhythm of War reactions?
I talk too much, and I cannot share talk time with this many people.
Okay, so we'll do 10 then. Okay, great, cool.
I mean, I
Argent.
I didn't say anything for the last 3 questions, so it was like, but I didn't need to say anything for the last 3 questions. They were not my questions.
Yeah, you don't have to answer every question. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All mods Rhythm of War stream. You know, I did a list of that. So it's funny you should say that, because I've been thinking about that, and I was listing everyone, and it was like, we got a lot of people. This is not like
not viable.
Like, honestly, Ben, what I might do is not have you on the reactions cast and have you on whatever Overlady video it is, because it's like, you have another series, you can just blab as much as you want there. so I might legit do that. Like, I got to like 8, not including Jess, who should hopefully be in America. But then I'm like, oh crap, I forgot Matt, and then there's 9, and then and then I already moved like 4 people out of. Oh god, there's so many people.
Well, we'll just have 2 reactions podcasts.
Hang on.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I cannot share my screen time with him.
Excuse me, who edits this?
Who has to edit out like an hour of them rambling?
Anyway,
just make it twice as long.
Yeah.
People are saying we should do 10, and I think we should arrange them in like the double eye of the Almighty.
That is
like all of the videos.
That does not work. That does not work. Our videos would be too small. Our videos are already too small for this
8K.
thing. No.
I mean, it's not like this is any kind of high fidelity. Is just a blob of hair.
Yeah, our high fidelity over Discord cameras that are totally not pixelated, and I love how just the light changes for different people at different times of day. Like,
have you noticed how the sun has gone down?
Mine is the most dramatic.
Like
obviously,
blue light from the sky has like encroached on me.
See, you just have to close all the windows and get lots of lights like these. See?
Mhm.
Ah.
Now everyone is
doing
blinded.
the like square or rectangles, you just take a circle of each of our heads and put it like where our order is.
No.
Yep.
Floating heads.
No, but
no. We
the
each
thing
get
is,
a
you
character
move,
that
like
is on a
Evgeni
different
moves around a lot, Ian moves, everyone
Sure.
moves. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Go.
Everybody wiggles.
Yeah.
We're the movie cats.
Oh gosh, no.
No, I'm just Ben's head from the Dawn Shard episode.
That was so funny. That was so funny.
It was fun to edit.
That was so funny. All right, we will see you guys later. We won't have a formal Shardcast this week because it's this. I'll post it sometime this week. I don't know. But our next episode will be more Dark One stuff, which you probably all forgot about with
Yay.
Rhythm of War stuff. But we have another Dark One episode. So you know what? You're going to have to watch it. So there.
I can't read it yet.
I mean, you can.
And
I mean, I could,
might as well
but the
also rewatch.
shipping was so expensive, so I have to wait till it shows up in the local.
You can get an ebook.
Can I get an ebook?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
that's
thought it
how
was-
we all read it.
Yeah.
I thought it was married to. I thought you needed to also buy the physical copy to get the ebook.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't
you
think
do.
so.
It's a bundle. You get both.
Yeah. So the thing is, I'm not going to get it because shipping was like $35.
Okay.
Yeah, she didn't want to get the physical, which
Oh,
comes
I
with
see.
the. But I
Yeah.
think
Was there
there
any
should be a
recommend-
digital only.
I thought there was.
Yeah, somewhere.
I
I
thought
did
there
not
was.
see that option. This is the non-American side of things. I did not see that option. I'll take another look.
You're just in Canada, and therefore everything is more difficult to ship over to you.
Shipping was perfectly fine before March.
Yep, everything. Yeah. Remember when we said 2017 felt like a long time ago? It's like, remember 2019? That was
You guys remember March of this
Remember
year?
February?
Remember February? Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
Remember the before times?
The before times, yes.
The shadow days.
Cassandra.
The shadow days. Yeah. Yeah.
We should probably sign
yes.
off. We're
We should
rambling.
get out of here. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is what you get. This is what you get. All right. We will see you all for Dark One things next time, and we'll do Way of Kings Prime when we read it.
Eventually.
Some of us will.
Yeah, that's a thing now.
Yeah. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.
Ta.